Here we are again. Davante Adams. He is now a LA Ram, which there's a lot of fantasy implications here. Does Puka Nacua go down in value? Does Stafford go up in value? Of course he does. Does Kyren Williams survive this? Does he play better because of this? Is this good or bad for the run game in LA? There's a lot of fantasy implications. This two-year deal, $46 million includes $26 million in guarantees. It is a $20 million per year deal to stay on the West Coast. And this is going to be an interesting situation. He's not landing with Aaron Rodgers after all. He's going on his own, just like I predicted. That the psychology of this man would be enough is enough. I followed my best friend Derek Carr, didn't work out. I went and sought out Aaron Rodgers, didn't work out. It was pretty clear that at this point he was going to go his own way, and his own way he sure went. Lots to go over here, lots to digest. The pizza, I didn't even take the pizza out of the box on the counter. I just came straight back and started the live stream, and that live stream begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday,
8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. This is what, our fourth or fifth live stream already today on a separate topic. Davante Adams is now a LA Ram on a $20 million per year, 2-year deal with $26 million in guarantees on a $46 million contract. The implications to this one are more than just, Davante Adams spread wide. This is a Puka Nacua goes down a little bit in value. He can't go up with Davante Adams, a target hog in town. Granted, a lot of laser locking. This man Stafford does on Puka. I don't think Puka tanks, but I don't think Puka's the second best or first best wide receiver like some of you have Puka Nacua ranked in redraft. And the Rams, look at the squad. The Rams are coming for everybody. Matthew Stafford, Kyren Williams, Pula Nacua, Stafford or Schefter. Nice one, Schefter. Pula Nacua. Who the hell's Pula Nacua? Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, Tutu Atwell. And you know who comes off the Moon Man list, unfortunately?
The Moon Man, dropping loads in outer space.
You have some losses, they're going to happen. But we can't, in good conscience, keep him up there when he loses his job, So that opens up another Moon Man spot, that happens. We don't change him a lot. We don't take a lot of people off. I think that's like the second or first person we've taken off on the year. But yeah, Whittington goes kind of in the tank there. Big Sonny dropping a celebratory message. 4 months on the membership here. I'm so happy I faded Puka in best ball. Thanks, Smitty. Look, I'm not saying I'm right in that Puka is somebody getting completely overvalued because of this move. There's a lot of reasons Puka's getting overdrafted. And I've said this from the rooftops, scream this from the rooftops. One of the most injury-prone players that you could possibly take inside the top 15. Not even because he's an injury-prone physical specimen. This is a man that plays more aggressive than George Kittle meets Rob Gronkowski meets the most aggressive runner you've ever seen, married to Isaiah Pacheco when they had a baby. That's what Puka Nacua is in terms of the abuse he throws at his own body, landing on his hands constantly, letting his knees smack against the ground constantly. Puka Nacua is a walking injury at some point. And I'm not saying that you avoid him in the first, like the end of the first round, or I'm talking about Puka belongs where St. Brown is, which is like the 1-2 turn, the 12, 13, 14 overall territory. And that's not a disrespectful statement. And now that Adams has landed on roster, you could almost bet that Puka is going to see a little less target share. Stafford laser locks. Cooper Kupp didn't take anything away. And you could almost say, is Adams where Cooper Kupp is? Are they both going to kind of just fade a little bit? Is Adams still the same guy? Well, he played like it last year at times, so hard to know. But Adams and Puka, and Kupp is obviously going elsewhere. I don't know what's in store for Puka. I think there's just needs to be a little bit of pumping the brakes at like top 5, 6, 7 overall value. That's what I think. I think Neighbors is a clear, and he takes a big shot up the ADP boards now, which I kind of don't like. If Puka drops 1 or 2 spots wide receiver wise, then guess who goes up? Malik Neighbors, and I don't like that. But look, we've had Malik Neighbors on this mother freaking board for forever. So yeah. And as for Kyren, I don't know that this changes too much for Kyren. If anything, I think he becomes more efficient even if he gets less work because defenses are kept honest and spread out. And we do know McVay's going to run the ball. Whenever they're at and around the goal line, Kyren is the guy, the one guy in the NFL you can count on getting nearly the most, if not the most, red zone touches as an RB. He did it last year. He's got 2 straight years of when you combine the 2 years together of being a starting running back, he's in a handful on one hand of running backs that have ever scored, 31 touchdowns in a 2-year span. He's been unbelievable. Where does Matthew Stafford rank after this move? Thank you for the super chat, my boy Big Sonny in the building. I'd probably say this puts him in the conversation of a very good low-end QB1. You know, whereas before I'd be like, I'd like to draft him and a Dak together as my rotational QB1 if I was to avoid going early quarterback, which I rarely ever do. But do I now in best ball love the idea of Stafford with my Josh Allen early quarterback? Do I love the idea of Stafford in a 1 QB best ball to go along with my JD5 early quarterback? I do. I love the idea that Stafford could be a very quiet bully QB, to have a bully QB approach in best ball. Do I think I start Stafford? I don't know that I start him, but he certainly could earn that. He could earn that potential only because there's so many good quarterbacks, and I want one of the big dogs. I want Hurts. I want JD5. I want Josh Allen. I want a bunch of those guys. But you could draft a Mahomes in round 7 or 8, which is a complete steal. Also get Stafford or also get Dak and have that amazing rotation going. So yeah, Stafford could be a starter. There's no doubt about it. I love it in best ball though, bro, because you can stack Stafford with another quarterback, and then when he has some down weeks or there's some oversaturation of Kyren Williams on the ground that week, then you're not hurt because the almost optimal lineup gets started for you each week in best ball anyway. So wow, what a team though. What a team there. Stafford, Kyren, Pula, Nakua, according to Adam Schefter, Davante Adams, Tyler Higbee, Tutu Atwell, and wow, what a move. What a move. You do wonder though, you know, this isn't it weird? Is anybody else thinking this right now? I know we're excited. We're talking about Adams. We'll talk about what we expect from Adams. We haven't done that yet. But is anybody like, hey, aren't Adams and Kupp kind of in the same boat? And Kupp knows the offense. Kupp loves, you know, he loves Matthew Stafford. Like, did Kupp really drop off that much that this team is going to go in the direction of another wide receiver that's nearly the same age as Cooper Kupp? They're kind of nearly in the same place of decline. It kind of is weird to me, you know. And is there a shot that this all works out for Cooper Kupp? I don't know. Wouldn't fantasy-wise. But Adams, as far as Adams, let's look at Adams' stat totals from last year. Okay, so Davante Adams, let's pull up and screenshot his 2024 stats, which were pretty good when you really look at it. You know, you kind of remember him being a guy that was up and down. You weren't sure if he was going to return the value. The cost of investment, your ROI, was kind of uncertain. And at the end of the day, in a very kind of toxic environment in New York, 85 receptions, 163, and 8 touchdowns. That is a damn good season when you really think about it. If he can replicate just this, that's a win. If he can replicate even 6 touchdowns, 1,000 even, in 75 to 80 receptions, that is a huge win in a wide receiver, a near elite wide receiver 3 in fantasy. If he can replicate what he did last year in a high octane, high potent offense, which was not the case in New York, maybe he can have this year left. Maybe Davante Adams is one of the bigger sleepers right now, hiding in where? Where is he going right now? Davante Adams, let me screenshot some ADP data, and let's take a gander at where Adams is even going. Maybe he's not as big of a steal as I think. Maybe he's a bigger steal than I think. Davante Adams. Wow. I mean, he is down there quite a ways. You know where Marvin Harrison is on an ADP? Just looking at wide receivers, I almost have to scroll all the way down another 14 players to get to Davante Adams from where MHJ's ADP is. That sounds like a steal to me. Will it be a steal that we see a week from now, 4 days from now? I don't know. His ADP should climb. You've got Marvin Harrison Jr. This is ADP data from Underdog, promo code Smitty. I'll drop the link in the live chat if you want to draft a 2025 team now. And the advantage of drafting now is you get all the stuff, all these things we love right now before the values change, you get to take advantage of. But on Underdog, promo code Smitty, Marvin Harrison Jr., Mike Evans, Worthy, Devontae Smith, J-Mo, Zay Flowers, DK Metcalf, Ted McMillan, Roma Dunze, Rasheed Rice. I love Rasheed Rice's value. I love DK's value. Those are great values. Rasheed Rice, Davante Adams. I like this. I can see Rasheed Rice and Adams both climbing all the way up, and DK, to right under or above J-Mo, or right above Devontae Smith, or even above Worthy. I honestly, I think DK Metcalf, you can call me crazy. Let's wait until that news breaks tomorrow, okay? Before you run in here and start running your mouth, lazy take about DK being garbage. Wait till DK lands somewhere tomorrow. Then we'll come back and talk. DK, I think, should be right next to Marvin Harrison Jr. Davante Adams, I could see right here under Worthy. Rasheed Rice, I could see all the way above Marvin Harrison Jr. or right below Marvin Harrison Jr. Adams has got good ADP value right now. As for Matthew Stafford, though, what's his ADP looking like? Let's see here. Matthew Stafford, he's looking like he is going, oh, goodness, man. Oh, wow. Are you kidding me? This is unbelievable. This won't be the same tomorrow, though. He's going to climb as well, too. Jeez. All right, let me put this on screen, and we can look at this ADP. This is the quarterback ADP on Underdog. This is unreal. This won't be the same. Okay, you're talking about after, where Dak Prescott is, by the way, because I took a screenshot here. Dak is QB, Dak is QB 16. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Matthew Stafford's QB 26. That won't stand. That won't stay. He'll climb all the way 5, 6, 7 ADP slots. He'll be above Bryce Young. He'll be above Tua Tagovailoa. Might be below Penix or above Penix. Might be below or above Trevor Lawrence. Probably could climb all the way to Stroud, I would think, right? Damn, man. This Rams offense is unreal. It's going to be lit. It's going to be to the moon. This might be Mars.
To Mars.
To Saturn.
I know somebody that's going to be pretty excited.
He's Kyron. He's 7 feet tall. And he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron. He can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Sig Nasty says he can't even go to the bathroom without news breaking. I feel the same way. That's all I went to do, and I was going to go grab a slice of pizza, and then the news broke. Let's go see what else is breaking, because I'm going to have to end this live stream and go start a new one, because everything's got to have its own stream so that it's easy to find, and I work for you. Let's see here. I don't think there's anything worth going live on additionally. I think we got it all taken care of right now. Stidham to return as with the Broncos on a 2-year deal worth $12 million. That's amazing. They're paying Stidham $12 million. That's wild. It's wild that a running back, fights tooth and nail for a $12 million 2-year deal, and you get Stidham getting it like it's nothing. It's like a big man in the NBA. How tall are you? 7'5"? Okay, yeah, you're going to get 100 mil. Can you play ball? We didn't ask you that yet, but can you play ball? Not really? That's all right. We'll still give you the money. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Crazy. I don't know how long I'll be here. We got 400 people on YouTube in the room. We've got another 100 on X, so we'll be here for a little while. Phone lines are open. Any of you YouTubers out there, hit that thumb up button. We got 400 people on YouTube. Hit that thumb up button. Subscribe if you just found the channel. We go live whenever news breaks. This news broke. I'd already done 4 live streams on the day. Each individual piece of news is a new live stream. Go watch them if you're just finding the channel. No channel is going to take care of you like this channel. So subscribe if you're new. And hit that thumb up button on the way in the door. All right, phone lines are open. Dial in. Let's talk about this. Davante Adams. What happens to Puka? If you call into the channel, your first answer is going to be what happens to Puka. Your second answer is going to be what happens to Kyren. And your third answer is going to be how you expect Davante Adams to produce. Is it this line, slightly less, slightly more, a lot less? Those are the 3 questions you're required to answer when you call into the phone line right now. Dial in. Here's the line. One more time.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Do it live. God, this Rams unit looks absolutely amazing. I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking this is the champion in the West. Good luck, Cardinals. Good luck, Niners. Good luck, Seahawks. This is the team. They're going to the playoffs as a division winner, assuming Matthew Stafford can stay healthy. I'm sorry, but why can Adams sign? Bro, there's a lot of complexity. 20 gifted memberships by New Age Outlaws. An example of even Aaron Rodgers as a vested veteran that has been departing ways. Adams can have conversations. There's certain rules to tampering and trying to go after a player that's under contract where a team doesn't want, a player to be talked to, things like that too. This here, and whether it's disadvantage to all other teams, etc. Where does Matthew Stafford rank after this move? I just answered that one, and that's a great question. Thank you for that super chat, Big Sonny, my boy. Joe from Indy, you're live. Answer my 3 questions first, Joe. What does this do for Puka? Up or down? Up or down, or the same?
For Puka?
Yeah.
I think down.
Down. Okay. How much? Like 10%, 5%, 20%? Big panic?
I'm gonna go 20%.
Okay. So he deserves to be at the top of round 2 or the bottom of round 1 at the highest, right? We're in agreement there. That's St. Brown.
Yeah, correct.
St. Brown. St. Brown Puka.
Yeah,
That's
I'm thinking second round. Like in redraft. 100%.
We shouldn't have even been debating JJ, Jamar Chase, and Puka, in my opinion, because of the injury risk.
Yeah.
But I think now the world's going to come down to earth on him. But the question will be for me is like, do I put a guy like St. Brown or maybe one other player above him, or do I put him right there? All right, second question, Kyren Williams, up or down or the same?
Up.
Up. I like it, bro. I like the way you think.
Yeah. Massive.
Adams.
I mean, I'm talking like.
You're talking big time. You're talking like stock on the rise.
On the rise.
Yeah, like I mean, I think Kyren. You got that jingle with him, bro. He scores touchdowns, and you added Davante Adams with that Sean McVay offense. Oh man, I mean, there's so many different plays that he can run now. I mean, it just opened up that playbook so much.
Okay, and here's my other question for you. If Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown are an 8 out of 10 in terms of stack.
The stack above all stacks. It's time.
What are the Rams stack? Kyren, Adams, Puka, Stafford. 1 to 10.
Man.
This guy loves it.
That's a hard decision. Because the only thing that I worry about is I just hope Stafford will actually
stay healthy.
Pass to Adams. I hope he doesn't get Cooper Kupp him or Robert Woods him. You know what I mean?
You got to ask yourself, if you're, I don't know, bro. If you're Cooper Kupp, aren't you really offended right now? I'd be so offended. I'd be like, this guy's the same.
I would.
He's in the same
Yeah,
spot
I
as
would.
me. He's going down. He's older. I know the offense. Stafford's my best friend in the rapport. You can't match the rapport between Stafford and Cup. I'd be really offended. I'd be like, not only are you not trading me in for a younger model, like Steve in accounting who gets a raise and he gets rid of his old piece and gets a new girl. She's younger and you can understand it even though he's making a mistake. Okay? He's making a mistake. He's leaving the loyalty for the young, fresh, new look. But if you're Cooper Kupp, you're seeing him go straight for the same dish. What are we doing? Like I'd be so upset if I was Cooper Kupp. And to be honest with you, I've combed through the film. And I don't think Kupp has nothing left. I do think Adams has a little more left. I will say that, but this is offensive. This is a gross,
offensive. I mean,
offensive.
Former triple crown.
Man, it's crazy. All right, guys, dial in if you got another. Okay, what else you want to ask me before I let you jump off the line? What else you got?
No, those questions you asked me, man, that was exactly what I needed to hear from. So that's it, man.
All right.
Yeah, you answered them.
Kyren, 15 total touchdowns. Are we okay with that?
I would like 15 rushing, receiving touchdowns total. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Right.
I mean,
I agree.
This is the playbook, and Sean McVay, I mean, what he can dial up, he loves his running backs.
Yeah.
And,
drop a Kyren emoji in the
man,
chat,
I think it is the best thing for Kyren, to be honest.
And then last question.
Puka.
Last question. We're going to go over to the NFC West here. Cardinals, Rams, Niners, Seahawks. Rams winning the division. Pretty easy, right? Sorry, Niner fan.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say the Rams, especially with what they're performing. I mean, they gave the Eagles the biggest, fits as far as in their playoff run and their Super Bowl run.
Woo! This is the best news all day. All right. Hey, appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
All right, call in anytime.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you, Smitty.
All right, dial in if you guys got a question. This is the best news we've had all day. This is the most exciting. This has made me kind of sit at the edge of my seat. I got a little excited on this one.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
What's funny? We haven't played this in a while. Our New York Jet making fun of Davante Adams. Let's play this for old time's sake and see how we could redo this to make it look really funny. Maybe Adams is over at Kyren and Stafford and Puka's house, and Aaron Rodgers is outside with the boombox. Come on, man. Pick up.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey man, it's Davante Adams again. Call me back, bro.
I think moving forward it's gonna be this little number.
Your eyes. You're Wilson and the boys. Your eyes. Rogers has new toys. Your eyes.
He's gonna be out with the boombox. Oh man, we're gonna have to redo that son of a bee. And it's gonna be Aaron Rodgers that's getting laughed at now. Adams is he's eating steak dinner every night now over in LA. This is unreal. Dial into the phone line. I need at least 2 more phone callers right now. We got almost 600 people in the building. Twitter, over on X, we've got about 100 or whatever it is. On YouTube, we're at 550. Dial into the show. We need at least 2 or 3 people on the phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We need a panel. Panel up. Panel up. Brought to you by theattic.shop, by the way. Oh my God. This one got me going. This piece of news got me going. $20 million a year. Now, what do we think about the money on that? I mean, he's older. What's that do to the market? You've got Jamar Chase now looking at $40 million per year locked in. He's not looking for 39.9. He's looking for 40.0 or higher. Do you know how I know that? Because the Bengals organization said themselves that They're going to make Jamar Chase the highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League. And guess what? Myles Garrett just got $40 million per year. So guess who's getting $40 million per year? Jamar Chase is getting $40 million per year.
Let him cook.
Drop a Jamar Chase emoji. Drop a Joe Burrow emoji. So you got to ask yourself, okay, he's getting $40 million per year, $20 million, pretty good for an old man, but does this kind of pull Godwin down? Does this kind of pull maybe T. Higgins down from 35 to 33, 32 instead of going to 35? Because Adams is such a big name. Doesn't matter if he's older, he's getting $20 million per year. You know, he is older. We know that. We understand that. We're not idiots. But this is still $20 million per year for a big piece that is an 85, 1063 yardage and 8 touchdown receiver. So maybe this can tame T. Higgins' contract. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Quite possibly. Hard to say, but quite possibly. We got Devin, appreciate you with a $20 hauler. You straight up monster.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 haulers get Mars shots. Appreciate you, my boy.
To Mars.
And your question is tip for your hard work today, Smitty, to the moon. Thank you, my boy. You go to the moon.
To the moon.
You go to Mars. Appreciate the donation, my man. It helps keep the lights on in the building. Appreciate you. Okay, jeez, man. And I don't know why the phone lines are dead. Is my phone line broken? Let me reset it. I'm so sorry. There's no way no one's not calling in. That's on me. Restarting it. Dial in. Phone line should be good.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Good Lord. All right. Fixed. Breaking news, Josh Allen to sign a 6-year. What in the hell's going on here? Josh Allen, according to Schefter, signing a $6-year, $330 million extension, $250 million guaranteed. What in the hell this does to Brock Purdy's deal and all the quarterbacks? You got a $45 million a year request from Geno Smith. Good Lord. I mean, this deal, I got to go live on this on a separate video. I'm not going to leave the live stream because we got almost 500-600 people in here, so we'll just do another video on this after. But good Lord, this is probably the biggest news of the day now. What is going on here? We're the day before this stuff's supposed to really go down, and we're having the biggest news day we've seen in a single day in a long time. Josh Allen signs a 6-year, $330 million extension with the Bills, $250 million guaranteed. Good Lord. This is looking like a... Hang tight real quick if you want to... Mind mute for me, Tebow. Just mute real quick. Give me a few more minutes here as I try and dig into the... can you mute yourself, bro? We hear a lot of background noise, Tebow. Just mute yourself real quickly if you could. I'll get more details on this as it comes in. This just came in. This has more impact to the quarterback signings that are upcoming. And Brock Purdy's included in that, and the Geno Smith new contract, the Darnold contract when he is with the new team. This has more of an impact to those than the Davante Adams does to anything else, wide receiver related or whatever. This is crazy. This is unreal. This is madness. $55 million per year. $55 million per year. Honestly, I thought it was going to be 60. This is actually kind of good in a way, because if the man had signed 60, we would have had Brock Purdy trying to inch up. Brock Purdy can't get what Josh Allen's getting. This is the best news that could have happened for the Niner fans and for the Niners if their intentions are to sign Brock Purdy. There's no way you can allow Brock Purdy to sniff the jockstrap of Josh Allen or the funds that Josh Allen gets to participate and play around with. This is not Brock Purdy territory, okay? Brock Purdy should be at least 10 mil under this. That means Brock Purdy's $45 million offer by the Niners isn't so bad now, is it? So the Niners should have signed Brock Purdy Brock Purdy should have signed that deal with the Niners. Maybe the Niners pull back from their $45 million offer. I probably would. I'd say that was on the table. You should have taken it. There's no way you're making $50 million a year if this man, Josh Allen, is making 55. That's insane. Here's the per year contract number. Let me throw that up on screen. No, that's the same graphic. Here, let me throw this. Wow. What a day. What a day. Here's that. Travis is live. Tebow, you're live. Let me go to Tebow first because he's been waiting there, and then Travis will come right for you. Tebow, you're live. Go ahead.
Yep.
And guys, I'm going to throw this contract number up so you guys understand that it is $55 million per year per Ian Rappaport. $55 million per year, reset despite 4 years left on the contract. Now, getting an extension does kind of change a few things from a number standpoint versus getting a fresh new contract, but at the grand level here, we're talking about $55 million per year. And so Brock Purdy just got kicked. His agent got kicked in the sack on this one. And they better start looking at 45, 47, 45, 48 over. If you shouldn't even pay Brock Purdy $45 million, to be honest. But if you want to sign him and I can't convince you otherwise, then you better pay 45, 47. And Brock, you better take it. Go ahead, Tebow.
What's going on, brother? Man, I just wanted to call in, man. Shit, everything's kind of popping today, and I can't even imagine what tomorrow's going to be like. But no, I think that was a pretty surprising maneuver by the Rams overall, man. That makes them legit contenders.
50 to 52 million. It better not be, Jolts. Niners will be the laughing stock of the league if they pay Purdy 50 to 52 million after this man, who's 10,000 times better than Brock Purdy, gets 55. That'd be nonsense. The Niners, first of all, the Niners are stingy. I don't think they're. I think Brock's punching the air a little bit. Although I'm sure he's fine making $45 million a year, as he should be. All right, Tebow, what do you got? What do you think of Davante Adams? What do you think of Puka Nacua with Davante in town? And what do you think of the quarterback?
Dude, I think both Puka and Davante together with Stafford is going to be an awesome situation. What actually worries me a little bit is what do you take on Jordan Whittington now that Davante's there?
I'll show you.
The Moon Man.
He's not on the Moon Man list anymore,
space.
Unfortunately. So it's not that I don't like him a lot. I still like him a lot. I think if someone got hurt, it'd be great. But yeah, I mean, he might be the end of the draft in a best ball where you're holding 8 wide receivers and you take Whittington maybe. But Tutu Atwell just got a big extension for him at least. And so at the end of the day, what's he, wide receiver 4? I mean, what can he do? Why would they give Tutu Atwell that money if they weren't expecting him to at least compete with Whittington for that spot, if not take it over? So Tutu Atwell is the 3rd wide receiver. It's kind of shocking that Tutu got that deal and then they immediately went for Adams. This is why I think people are nuts when I say, if I'm the Washington Commanders, I go get DK Metcalf. And people are like, why would you do that? You just got Deebo Samuel. Like, you telling me that Deebo, McLaurin, and DK Metcalf's a problem for you in a bad way? That's what the Commanders should be doing. You should, especially because DK's got a lot of value beyond what Deebo and McLaurin are bringing to the table in terms of years. So, the Commanders are smart, so you don't put it past them to do something crazy. But, woo, Josh Allen. I kind of want to go live again on a separate video, but we got 497 YouTube people in here. We got, 100 or 200 or 100 and something Twitter, so I can't really end the live stream. But I'm going to have to go live on this one again tonight in a separate video, just because the way I operate, I want a separate live stream for every topic that's like this. But all right, hold on one second, Tebow. Let me go over to Travis. Travis, you're live. All right, Travis, you're live. Jeez, man, what a day.
They'll compete for that DeMarcus Robinson role, because I don't think he's coming back. And it's a pretty solid role. And if Adams or Puka gets hurt, which both of them could, either one of them could, there's still some injuries. One of those two could step out.
Yeah. And DeBalt, I love DeBalt. Well, hold on one second. I love DeBalt, but DeBalt, this screams I have Puka Nacua in every league. DeBalt says this is fantastic for Puka. He's going to have a lot of favorable coverages. I don't think it can be fantastic for him. I think you could argue that if Adams dropped off enough that maybe nothing moves, but you can't tell me this is better for Puka Nacua, who is getting fed more than a human being could possibly be fed. There's no way he can get the exact same target share if Adams is in town. And he's one of those players that's polarizing, and he commands targets. He runs the best routes in the National Football League. He's got the attitude and Cooper Kupp was never Davante Adams. Cooper Kupp had one big year, and then he had like an additional good year, and it was one of the best years in the history of the NFL, the Triple Crown year that Cooper Kupp had. But Adams brings a whole lot more confidence, veteran leadership, almost command to get him the ball, and almost a responsibility to get him the ball when he comes onto this roster. There's almost zero chance that this helps Puka Nacua. But I don't know if it hurts him as badly as I'm fearing it could, but it's certainly not good for him. It can't be. Puka is targeted like at a crazy rate. All right, go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, well, my question is going to be, like, do you think there's a risk of one of the two, or particularly Adams, not being happy if he just continues to lock on Puka? Or what if Adams becomes the guy he locks onto because he's such a great route runner? Like, do you see any issue there? Or do you think they'll be able to coexist?
I think that if they're winning games, no one cares. Adams is at the point in his career where he's not selfish and he just wants to win games. The problem with Davante Adams on roster for Puka is that you got to think about it like this. You're gonna probably, Puka owners are panicking to a degree, in that I think they're trying to say this is great, and you can't love this. If you're a oversaturated Puka Nacua owner and you're saying things like this is great, you're literally trying really hard to make the best of this. This is a team that's gonna move the ball down the field a lot differently. This is a team that's not going to require Puka Nacua to get 70 yards in one drive. They're going to march the field down more efficiently, and it's going to give Puka Nacua less opportunities because they're going to be so much more efficient. You know, it's kind of like BT. BT was so good last year because he was the only thing they had, and especially when Ingram was down, and it's like this guy had a chance for 40-yard chunk plays constantly. So if this team is effective, efficient, they're running 5 yards a pop, they're threading needles over this is going to be efficient as hell, marching down the field, Puka's going to have just a few less opportunities every series, you know? Whereas now it's like Puka's getting 4 targets, on this drive. He's getting 2-3 targets in that drive. I would not say R.I.P., rest in peace, Puka Nacua, or, sound the alarm or panic chamber. No. But does he belong where some of you have been shoving Puka Nacua in an uncomfortable fashion all the way up to wide receiver 1? There's so many people that want him to be wide receiver 1. Puka Nacua season, he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver. I like Puka as much as the next guy. Well, not really, apparently. But he's St. Brown, which is phenomenal. And we should be okay with that. Why do we need him to be JJ or as good as Jamar Chase? Why are people drafting him, or have been until now, drafting him sometimes as wide receiver 1 or putting him in the same exact tier as JJ, Jamar Chase? I like Neighbors more than Puka. I already did. Neighbors is my dark horse wide receiver 1 overall. Up there on the board, you can see it. This is unfortunate news for me. This is unfortunate news for those of us that love Neighbors that much, because Puka just dropped below Neighbors probably. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a blessing in disguise. More people think that this is good or even Steven for Puka. And if it is, then Neighbors stays right where he is. I'm glad to be wrong. But I don't see how this can be a positive thing for Puka Nacua. Maybe it keeps him healthy, because he doesn't get overworked, but he's still very aggressive on every play with his own body. So hard to know, but Neighbors to me is the guy. Okay, go ahead, Travis, with your other point.
No, they just, I mean, I know enough targets will go around, but do you think Stafford will be able to adjust his game where he can spread the ball around more between the two of them? Because, I mean, I know he's capable of it, but, you know, as you get older and he gets into habits and relies on one receiver, stuff like that, he hasn't really had to make sure he spreads it around, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I don't get the ball to other guys.
I don't know how this is gonna go for Stafford. I just know that it's got to be better. I don't know how much better it will be because he's still gonna either feed Puka Nacua all that Puka can handle and deliver, or he's now gonna be able to spread it out. And at the end of the day, he can only score so many times. And I think they're already going to be pretty efficient. I think Kyren Williams, I agree with everybody. This is great for him. The reason I love this for Kyren more than some might paint that and say, oh, you're just a Kyren supporter. And now you're trying to paint this good. How is it good for Kyren, but it's not good for Puka? Well, because Kyren was like Achane last year. There was a world where they were getting hurt by having defenses completely focus on them. And even though Achane still delivered at the end of the day, you know, being an electric, elite top 5 running back, Kyren slipped out of the top 5 because he wasn't able to be fully efficient, and he was the focal point of defenses, even with Puka doing what Puka was doing. And I think this just gives Kyren that 5 yards per carry clip again. It also keeps him so efficient, and he's going to still he was the number 1 running back in the league in goal line touches and carries and such. How does that change, really? I don't think just because Adams is there, they're not going to hand the ball off to Kyren 1 or 2 times a game at the goal line where he's going to convert almost every time now because you have defenses spread out even more. Kyren's going to have wide open lanes. Not to mention the Rams offensive line was banged up all last year. They're going to come back healthier, stronger. Last year, this offensive line entered the league as the heaviest unit in the National Football League. They were going to do numbers. This is arguably the best running offensive line in the National Football League. I can't wait to see what they do with Davante Adams. And as I always say to people, when you add a piece like this on the offense, it's almost like improving the offensive line to a second-hand degree, like a degree of separation. Having Davante Adams stretching defenses is as good as drafting an amazing offensive lineman that you can put right under the offensive line to help you protect your quarterback and buy you time. Davante Adams changes every single defensive scheme you were about to face walking into each and every game. Now Davante Adams makes it to where the defense is going, holy shit, we got to cover Davante, the best route runner in the National Football League, quite possibly, still might lose a step, who knows, we'll see, but this is maybe the best route runner in the league. Then you got Puka Nacua, who's the best of all these other different things. He's so good at everything. He's so gritty. He's better heart than anybody, more tenacity than anybody, but he's got some injury-prone characteristics that worry me. But you've got 2 electric wide receivers and Matthew Stafford, who may stay healthy for the very first team. What, DK?
Yep.
Oh my God. DK Metcalf.
Ron's going to be happy.
Yeah, Steelers are acquiring DK Metcalf. Good Lord. DK Metcalf going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got I'm behind 2 live streams. I got to do a live stream on this. I'll have to do a combined live stream. DK Metcalf and Josh Allen recap show. But wow, DK, this is not good for DK. This is not what I wanted. Every piece of shit talking I just did a few minutes ago to you think DK Metcalf's gonna... Now I'm like, I don't know. I don't hate DK Metcalf here, but I don't love it. I'm surprised that DK allowed this. I'm surprised DK allowed this to happen. He let money get the best of him here. And he let the money do the talking. There's no quarterback there, but this will help them lure in a quarterback. If Justin Fields goes here, this could be a good spot. I'm kind of one that doubts Pickens enough, but if I'm going to be objective about Puka Nacua, I got to come in and be objective about this. At the same time as I'm excited that he's somewhere else, somewhere new, this isn't where I wanted him to be. I don't know that this offense can make him be as good as he's capable of being. Could he still get 10 TDs? Possibly. It depends on the quarterback. If Fields goes there, I think Fields will connect with DK more than Pickens, but it's hard to say. But what in the hell's going on here? What's going to be left for tomorrow? There's going to be nothing left for tomorrow.
Seahawks got a 2025 second-round pick.
Yeah, this is crazy. So we'll have to. We got how many people we got in the building?
DK is signing an extension too.
Yeah, it's a $150 million deal. Let me put this on screen here. So we got Josh Allen signing his brand new extension. Yeah, and the extension always happens in conjunction, as I always say. If a player is going to be traded that's young, and there's the reason the team's going after him is not only the now but the future. There's an announced contract immediately as soon as the deal is announced. So this is what surprises me, though. He let the money really do the talking here, because he had the ability to say no, I'm not signing an extension with you, and then the team like the Steelers would have said we're not trading for it, called the trade off. So there was leverage here that DK decided not to use. But we also talked about that players don't always know what's best for them. And I think a team sees Tomlin, they see this team winning. They're a winning team. They always go to the playoffs. It's a good move. Like, are the Steelers a lock to go to the playoffs in 2025? I'd say yes. Are they a better shot at winning 2 games in the playoffs than 1 game? I think so. Obviously, if they bring in Russell Wilson, then he's connecting with DK Metcalf. That's going to be something that I think Russ will probably like, because Russ feels like he's kind of at a tipping point, and you give him some familiar faces, and that would be good for him. So this makes me think maybe Russ is a kind of a lean for the Steelers now versus Fields. But Fields has already said, I'm going to test other waters. So maybe the Steelers act really quickly and bring Russell Wilson back to pair with DK Metcalf, and we got reunion season going on. We got Geno and Carroll over in Las Vegas. We got DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson. Maybe Aaron Rodgers now picks up the phone. Maybe Darnold who's being rumored as being a place that Darnold could land now, according to Diana Rossini today. Maybe Darnold does sign to, maybe he says, let's do this. Now that you got DK, I'm doing this, and I'm doing it live. And Darnold, DK, Pickens, let's say they bring back Najee, or they draft a Scattaboo or something. Maybe Pittsburgh does move the needle this playoff season. I don't know. This is pretty good. This is a pretty good lineup. I don't like Russ.
It does get them their quarterback now. In my opinion, this gets them their quarterback.
Yeah.
It could make Fields backtrack, turn around, and go, oh, no, I want to be here.
Yeah, I don't.
Because, like you said, Rodgers, Darnold, now they have multiple people to throw to.
Yeah, this is crazy. So for recap, for anybody joining us, we had 600 people on YouTube. We got probably 100 or so on X. For those joining, subscribe first of all. This is a channel that goes live whenever news breaks. You'll never find another channel, in my opinion, that will take care of you more in terms of news and all that. And we open the phone lines and all that. No other channel does it like we do. But DK Metcalf is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. He signed a $150 million 5-year deal. It's $33 million in new money average, makes it the largest deal in franchise history. So DK Metcalf, 27 years old, expected to get, so the deal is, wow, $150 million contract, 33 million new money average makes. So his average should be 33 mil. That makes the T. Higgins money, using Davante Adams 20 mil per year, and DK Metcalf's 33, that puts T. Higgins at 33, 34. And I don't think T can ask for 35 anymore. This is good for Cincinnati Bengal negotiations. This is a really good day for the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think you have a choice but to pay Jamar Chase 40, because the Bengals organization has already gone on record saying that they will make Jamar Chase the highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League. Oops, put your foot in your mouth. Now you got to do it. But T. Higgins has a little bit less wiggle room here with DK Metcalf's 33. But I will say that usually teams or players try to piggyback off one another and one-up each other. I think DK, because Higgins is a tad bit younger, Ziggy, how old is T. Higgins? I think he's about
T. Higgins is 26 years
20,
old.
yeah, so
He was
he's
born on January 18th,
so January. Yeah, he's
1999.
definitely got a couple more years than DK Metcalf. So I think that you can wiggle out $34 million on that. So do I think he gets above 35? Probably not, but you never know. The 33 million on DK could equal 35 for T, but I'd say 33, 34 for T. And the Bengals have no excuse but to at least give him 33 now that DK, older player, gets 33. So that kind of helps guide the Bengals. But the Bengals could say, we don't, now that you tell us what we're playing with, we're not going to do it. We don't want to pay T. Higgins 34, 33. So we're going to keep him tagged. Hey, T. Higgins, play on the franchise tag. The Bengals are capable of doing that. But they better ink Jamar Chase. So anyway, recap for everybody that just joined us. DK is a Steeler, $33 million a year, $150 million deal. Josh Allen just signed a 6-year, $350 million deal, $250 million guaranteed with $55 million per year, which sets the tone for Brock Purdy and Darnold and everybody else below. Davante Adams is now a Ram, making $20 million a year. What a day. What a day. Go ahead, Travis. I'm sorry. And then I'll go back to Tebow. And the phone lines are open, by the way.
No, you're good. It's a great move. So I'm not knocking the move at all. But it'd be funny to see DK and Pickens argue over who's going to get the ball. The two of them are always upset about.
Well, I got bad news for Pickens.
Hopefully they can work that one out.
I got bad news for Pickens. He's now the number 2 wide receiver. And I think that, especially if Russ comes back to Pittsburgh, I mean, that's his boy. The rapport's there. The rapport's stronger. I know the rapport's there for Pickens too, but Pickens is a head case. And then on top of that, like if Fields comes, this is your big wide open monster target. You're going to be hitting that more than Pickens. So I think DK Metcalf's the one. I think this is horrible news for George Pickens owners. If you have George Pickens, you just got kicked right in the nutsack. I think whoever's quarterbacking there is in a pretty good spot. I think man, you kind of have to say to yourself, Pittsburgh, as much as we want to rip on Tomlin, Khan does a lot of these moves. So the con man was at work today. But at the same time, you got to also say, the Steelers could win some playoff games. Adjust and adapt, baby. And these teams are making
see
moves.
who the quarterback is. I'm still doubtful about Russell Wilson if he's a QB. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
I think they
the
still
entire
win.
product gets them there. The whole roster.
I think they still win games, but yeah, I don't think they win a Super Bowl. But this is a multi-win, playoff winning team. All right, let me go back to Tebow real quick. Tebow, go ahead. Crazy day.
Oh man, I am popping the champagne. I'm so excited right now, man. Boy, my team pulled through for me, man. But here's what I say, dude. Especially with DK signing that extension. And Steelers getting up the second round, I think, quite honestly, they're actually going to be probably putting Pickens on the trade block. They're not going to put up with his attitude.
They could.
They're
They could.
They're going to look to get a draft pick for him.
The question would be, though, is a team willing to take on that diva mentality? Probably one will, but I don't know, man. He's such I mean, he's such a disaster. Pickens is a straight-up disaster. I personally don't know that I want anything to do with him if I'm
He's a disaster, but I'd be willing to bet we could easily get a second-round pick for him and make that second-round pick back up. There'll be a team out there willing to take that chance.
I agree it's possible.
They got a second. Maybe Pickens going to get a second. Maybe because of his age.
Absolutely. Dude, are you kidding me? He's 24 years old. He would absolutely go to a team. A lot of teams are going to take a chance on Pickens. Absolutely.
They might
think, hey, I could be the reclamation project. We can come here, we'll change him. He'll fit our system. I think I could easily.
Maybe.
I wouldn't trade Pickens for anything less than a second, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know if you'll get a second though. Honestly, you might, but I think you could trade. I think you could trade him. I just don't know. I don't know what the price would be. I don't know if it would be a second. Dial in, guys, if you want to have a conversation about this. We got 660 people on YouTube. We got over 100 or so on X, I believe, and phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I'm trying to.
I'm surprised Ryan Neely's not calling it. Where's he at?
He called in on the other show, so he'll probably dial in here in a few minutes. But welcome to the loyalty membership. We got gifted memberships. We got David. Welcome, appreciate you. We got super chats coming in. I'll answer these in order in which they come in. So if you guys got a question, we got Jonathan dropping a super chat. Says, "Hey Smitty, are Javon Baker and Malachi Corley drops in Dynasty?" Probably, but it depends on how deep your league is. But I do like Javon Baker. I still think he's got upside, but it's hard to know that he's going to have any sort of shot to climb up. And Malachi Corley, while he's talented, we'll see what the new regime wants to do with him. But he certainly failed in terms of being as productive as we hoped he would be. But yeah, what a freaking day, guys! Dial into the phone line. I'm adjusting my graphic here to put all these guys on this thing, even though the news started to break slowly as the show went on. But I want people to know that this is Davante Adams to the Rams, DK Metcalf to Pitt, and Josh Allen ? So we got the updated graphic, and wow, what a freaking day! What's going to be left for tomorrow? We were talking about DK. It's going to be the other quarterbacks, but maybe not. Maybe a quarterback or two gets settled tonight. I have a feeling that some of these moves that have yet to be made yet, people are going to be freaking out. Teams are going to be freaking out, and you might hear one of the big quarterback drops tonight. You might hear Russell Wilson's back in Pittsburgh. You might hear Darnold's in Seattle, and that's done pretty much. Like, you're going to hear somebody's going to freak out. Because there's a whole lot going on. And dare I say there's going to be a surprising, crazy situation still to unfold, like something like I don't know. Something about like at least a trade up to the 1 overall for the New York Giants. But this is wild. Dial in, guys. Here's the phone line one more time.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
If I had to guess, if the Steelers get Russell Wilson, they win at least one playoff game, or they go to the playoffs and they lose a playoff game, their first playoff game, but they make it to the playoffs, I think. With Russell, DK, Pickens, if they get Justin Fields back or Sam Darnold, I think there's a real shot that they win 2 playoff games potentially. And this is coming from somebody that's been very, very pessimistic about the Steelers and Tomlin and everything. But it's not like Steelers giving up a second round pick means that they are trading Pickens, maybe to get another second back, but it's possible. Pickens could, you just need to find the right suitor. It just takes one party to dance, man. If one person wants to dance and you can get rid of Pickens for a second rounder, if the competition isn't there, that could drive the pick down to a third, though. But Pickens, he's got a lot of talent, man, but what a head case. What a head case. And if you take Pickens off the roster, replace him with DK, put Russell Wilson back on, maybe the Steelers are no better off than they were last year.
But see, that's why I don't think Russ makes sense, because I don't think DK would go, hey, give me a 5-year extension with Russ as the QB. I think he wants to know somebody who's going to be there. So to me, I just think it's you.
Didn't he like Russ?
Because he fits that same length of time.
Didn't he like Russ though, bro? Didn't he like Russ? I don't think he disliked Russ.
That's what I was going to say.
I think maybe
I agree with that.
Maybe he did this
of Russ when he started.
And maybe he did this on the back of maybe he did this on the back of thinking that Russ was going to get signed, or being told that there was a good shot Russ could sign.
Didn't Russ and DJ actually not get along, though? Wasn't there that whole beef with them in Seattle at one point, I remember?
Between, I don't know. I'm not sure. Luke says Puka just got better. I don't know how you're saying that, bro. You can dial into the phone line and debate it, but that sounds like a guy that owns 7 shares of Puka Nacua. he's scared. He's scared of the Pickens sitting here like, why you give that other guy my money? Yeah, and that's another thing. Ball's Life is right that, and to Tebow's point, trading away Pickens now makes the most sense because he's going to be royally pissed off. And he's going to be even harder to deal with because DK just got $150 million. If you're Pickens, you're like, what in the hell? And I don't know if Pickens even steps foot back in the facility, when you really break it down.
Nope, that'll be the news tomorrow.
Yeah,
They
okay.
should. They should trade him. And there's guys out there, and I'm not saying definitely him, but Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, sign one of these veteran guys. I still wonder if Roman Wilson, he didn't get to play last year. Is there anything there? There's a bunch of ways the Steelers can go at receiver still.
Yeah. Hey, Dave L says Puka or the 1.4 rookie pick. Dave L, this is where you're getting way out of pocket, bro. This is where you heard something and you thought you heard something else. You don't trade Puka Nacua for the Puka Nacua has 3 times the value the 1.4 has. I don't know why you're asking this question. Nothing you heard on this channel should have guided you in the direction of thinking that Puka Nacua dropped well past the 1.1. That's it. 1.2, Puka Nacua. 1.3, Puka Nacua. No doubt about it. There's no Puka Nacua debate in the 1.4 at all. This is near take a lap worthy. I'm only being hard on you so you don't make this trade.
Take a big lap.
I mean, that's ridiculous, Dave L. Don't take an L on that trade, Dave L. Don't do it. Don't do it. Man. But Puka does go down. BBQ dropping 50 gifted memberships. BBQ to the mother freaking moon.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men. Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly
wrong
in
button.
space.
I meant to press this one. Okay. Phone lines are open. Dial in. 778 caller. You're live. 778. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Cruz Wayne, and I'm calling from British Columbia, Canada.
The phone cut out. Are you there? Try again, man. I'm sorry. Okay. BBQ dropping 50 gifted memberships. Dial in. Brian, appreciate you. You got a membership. Everybody, appreciate you. Best fantasy football show on the internet, says Bucky. Appreciate you, Bucky, dropping that. Oh, man, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. 23-month membership question from OEG official says, my Steelers got DK. Let's freaking go. Caller, you can try calling back. I don't know what happened there. You started to break up and then it disconnected. Here he is again one more time. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, 778 caller. Are you there?
Yeah.
What's your name again and where are you calling from?
My name is Cruz.
Turn the back. I think part of the problem is for me is you have the background noise going. Okay, Cruz from Canada, you said?
My name is...
Cruz, all right, you got 5 more seconds, Cruz. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, what can I do for you? Turn that down in the background if you could there, my guy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. Cruz, what can I do for you?
So I have 2 questions to ask. So with the Los Angeles Rams trading for Davante Adams, where do you think this lands for Cooper Kupp to be? And the next question is, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is my team, if they were to release Chris Godwin, our wide receiver 2, who do you think they would replace him with?
Okay. So Adams was a free agent, so you didn't trade for him. He was a free agent, so he was signed. And Cooper Kupp is probably headed elsewhere at this point. I mean, where is he going to be? I don't know. There's a lot of people that think he's going to land in a spot that could maybe revive him a little bit. There's people that think he's washed. It's hard to know. If you're Kupp, you're pretty pissed off though, because it feels like you got traded. You're getting swapped out by the same, the same type of player at the same age and part of his career. It's wild, but it's hard to know where Kupp's going to go. Somebody's going to take a chance on him, and if he goes to the right spot, I kind of like the value in fantasy. As for the Tampa Bay Bucks, Godwin is also a free agent here in a second. They moved his void date to the day before the league calendar year. We're sitting here at that point, and Godwin potentially could be elsewhere. He could be elsewhere tomorrow. He could also be retained by the Bucs because there's a reason Godwin said, "Hey, let's move my void date to the year before the new league year. That way we can try and get an extension done." I think with the money being set today, Cruz, I think with DK setting that $33 million mark, with Davante Adams dropping the $20 million old man salary number. So you got an old man Adams getting $20 million a year. You got a middle-age DK Metcalf getting $33 a year. You're probably looking at Godwin being right at that 32, 33. And I think that's going to help the Bucs set this number, and the Bucs are going to retain him. But anything can happen in the next minute or two, bro. but I would say that if you're replacing him, Cooper Kupp comes to mind as you're having that conversation. Amari Cooper. There's not a lot of good players, bro. It might be at the same time. You also have McMillan, who we like a lot, and if he's forced to be the number 2 over in Tampa Bay, you'll do just fine with him. I don't think you have to necessarily replace Godwin with the same type of polarizing figure. McMillan's ready. I like McMillan a lot. In fact, I'm kind of depressed and disappointed if Godwin stays to a degree, just because McMillan has so much upside. But they're all good questions. Anything else?
Yes. So with the Buffalo Bills giving Josh Allen a way too big of a contract for a 6-year, $330 million contract extension with $250 million guaranteed, do you think that's a little bit too absurd for a quarterback? And I get it, he's an MVP, but just do you think that's a little bit too much money?
Nope, I don't. And I'll answer this. I appreciate your calling, and I'll answer this so you can click off and listen to the answer. I appreciate you, Cruz. Thanks for asking the 3 questions. No, I don't, because this is what the market is, Cruz. Do I think anybody should be getting paid these ungodly amounts of money? No, nobody does. But at the end of the day, the guy signed a $55 million a year deal. It's right in line with the progression scale, and he was the next quarterback up. And he's arguably, him and JD5 are, in my opinion, the 2 best quarterbacks in the National Football League. This is right on par. In fact, Cruz, I'll do a one better. I think he should have got a little more. I think that he could have got 60. But 55 feels like he was being nice and kind, hometown discount, let's still build and win a Super Bowl. He can't spend that amount of money in his lifetime. So Josh Allen did the market a solid. He did all the GMs and owners in the league a solid. He did the Niners a solid by taking $55 million when he could have got 60, but he wants to win a Super Bowl, and he knows that that's more money than he'll ever spend. So hats off to Josh Allen.
Let him cook.
And quite honestly, it's not even close to absurd. But I appreciate you with the 2 questions. Let me head over to the super chat here. Just got offered a Cooper Kupp for my 26 first rounder. You take the 26 first rounder is the better value, man. No, I like Cooper Kupp like using a second. Go trade a second rounder for Cooper Kupp, bro. You can't give up a future first rounder. I don't care if it's 2027. For a wide receiver that may never return to even a small piece of what he was. You know, we don't even know what he is, but a first rounder, no. Deebo Samuel, maybe you're talking about 26, 27 year draft capital, and you can win like $500, $1,000. Your entry fee's nice. It's bigger than that. I'm okay with that kind of move. You know, Deebo Samuel could bring you 2 years, and you already know where he is. But even that's like a crazy move. It's a crazy move that I would explore. Smitty, I love you, man. Go Bills. Thank you. Jesse, appreciate you. Appreciate you very much. And this caller is 470. I'll go back to Travis. 470. You're live on the show. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Thomas, man. I'm live from Georgia right now.
Thomas from Georgia. What can I do for you, pal?
Man, I was just wondering, what do you think this trade to the Steelers for DK Metcalf does for his ADP? You think this raises him in value?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
honestly, I think he stays the same, man. I think Russell Wilson and Geno are about equal.
He could even go down.
Level.
I could see DK even going down a little bit. Not a lot because he's already really low. He's grossly undervalued, but Look, if I'm going to be honest, and I'm always honest, I'm always adjust and adapt Smitty. I'm always going to give you, and for anybody here that's new, we got 784 people from YouTube that are, a lot of you are new. You don't realize you're watching a show that goes live whenever news breaks in the NFL. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, we go live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Regular show every day. And then we go live at midnight, graveyard shift, which we won't tonight. Probably, I don't know. We'll see. If there's another piece of news, we will. But at the end of the day, what were we talking about?
We're talking about DK Metcalf going up and down their value, basically.
Adjust and adapt, Smitty. If I'm going to be honest, and I always am, and say that I think Puka got kicked in the sack a little bit today. A little bit, because he was being grossly overvalued, and this is going to set him down to size a little bit and make him a first to second round turn player, which is still extremely, respectable. That's the 12th or 13th overall player in all of fantasy football. There's no hatred there. There's no.
I feel like you misheard me, man. I'm talking about
hold
DK
on.
Metcalf.
No, you didn't mishear me. I'm a sidetrack Scotty. Okay, so I'm just going in a bunch of different. I'll tie it up in a bow, real nice and neat. So what I'm trying to say is that Scotty, I'm gonna give you like 5 different things in one here. I'm a sidetrack Scotty.
All right, sounds good.
DK Metcalf is very similar in that I feel like people are misjudging his value, right? And I'm one that's been saying he's going to the moon. He's gonna, if he goes to a great place, which he probably will. I couldn't guarantee it. And we talked about Pittsburgh as being a potential landing spot, that he could go for the bag and not go for the winning. He went for the location that I did not expect, and unfortunately, he went for the money. He didn't go for the situation combined with money, and I don't like his spot. So I have to, like, I'm being honest and just telling you how I feel about Puka. My honest adjust and adapt moment is that I don't know that DK Metcalf is the same player that I thought he could be walking into this 2025 season. Right. So quite honestly, I'd even probably say we go to the Mars men list. I'm not saying I won't put him on a list or talk about him again, but I can't in good conscience put him on there when he is probably not going to get the number one volume that he needs. Now, if they trade, hold on. If they trade away Pickens,
you don't think?
Hold on 1 second.
Who was really there to compete with him there?
Well, Pickens. Right now,
if Seattle, he was competing with JSN. You know what I mean? For a target.
If Pickens gets traded, then I think maybe we can hit that button and show him again. I don't know. We'll see. It might move him to the Moon Man list instead of the Mars Man list. Move him down a level, but I still like him. I still like DK, but I don't know that he can do what I want him to do, and that's just adjusting.
I like
and
him
adapting.
too. You think he's still a value at, like, say you get him 6th round? Do you think that would still be a value pickup in best ball?
6th round, no, because that's where he was going when we were expecting. I'd say 7th or 8th round, he's a steal.
Okay. Fair enough. Hey, one more question. Yeah. Considering this is a hot take right here, but staying on topics with Seahawks trades, Geno Smith going to the Raiders. What do you think that does for Brock Bowers? Because, the other quarterbacks were kind of leaning on the tight end. Do you think Geno does that to the same level?
Yeah.
I think that Geno Smith, being the quarterback he is, over people like Gardner Minshew and whoever the fuck the other guy was, I can't even remember. Aiden O'Connell, right? Am I tripping?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I think that Geno's a better quarterback than anything they've had for a while.
Of course.
So, do I think he's in a?
I think.
You asked me a question. I'm trying to answer it.
My bad.
I think that he's a better quarterback than anything they've had for a while. And while I do think he's got some limitations, like if they brought in a Davante Adams back, reunion or whatever, then it would be hard for Bowers to survive the same way. But I think if things stay the same, it's Jacoby Myers as Brock Bowers, Geno's going to lean on him like crazy. Do I think that Brock could have been better if he got a quarterback like Fields or even Darnold maybe, or especially Cam Ward, who I love a lot? Yeah, I think he could probably be better. Do I love the long-term value of Geno in LV? No, but that could be resolved through another means. It doesn't, just because Geno's there now doesn't mean he's going to be the starter 3 years from now. And who knows? They may draft Jackson Dart. I think Dart's a good player to fall in one of these spots with one of these shady quarterbacks. But yeah, I think Bowers will be fine. I think Bowers only goes up. It's just he doesn't go up as much as he maybe could have. But we'll never know what that is because we never saw it. You know.
Fair enough. I appreciate you, Smitty.
Anything else, pal?
Nah, that's it, man. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't yelling at you. That's just me.
No, you're good. You're good, man.
That's just my resting face. All right, back over to Travis real quick. Travis, you're live.
Yeah, so you don't think the ADP will jump at all just off people getting all pumped up about
Maybe.
DK?
Maybe. I mean, the thing is, he was kind of low anyway, so maybe like people were waiting for something. But
yeah, I don't necessarily think it should. But
I kind of feel like maybe with the idea that Pickens is getting traded, people will maybe draft DK at least where he is instead of him dropping. And then once Pickens is gone, he could climb, I guess, a little bit. I mean, it depends who his quarterback is. If it's Fields, I like DK a lot in Pittsburgh, and I probably do keep him on the Marsman list. I just took him off for the moment to kind of just let everybody know that, you know, the value's in flux right now. And I can't sit there and have him on the Marsman list until I know what's going on. So once we have a quarterback, if it's Fields without Pickens, I actually could put DK back on the list, or I move him to the Moonman list instead of the Marsman list. But if I think that, you know, Russ is coming back, or we find out Russ is back and Pickens doesn't leave, I don't think DK can survive even his current ADP.
Yeah, I agree.
Really well.
I agree, for sure.
So a lot of things need to go down before we can really. Adam's favorite with what's it say? Adam's favorite to win MVP. What are you talking about, bro? Okay, Steelers need Fields. I agree, Dave. I hope they get Fields, but maybe Fields, who the report today said that Fields was going to go explore his options, right? He was not going to, but now that DK's there, maybe Fields picks the phone back up and says, "Hey, Pittsburgh, I'll come back home for a little."
That's what I was wondering.
For a little meeting.
Make him backtrack
I like
a little
DK.
bit.
I hate Pickens. You get rid of Pickens? Okay, I'll be right back. Fields was still in the parking lot. He was in the parking lot. He hadn't left yet. All right, Tebow, anything else? And the phone lines are open if you guys want to dial in. If anybody doesn't know, Adams traded to, or Adams signed with the Rams. DK traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Josh Allen signed a $250 million 6-year extension, $330 million extension, $250 million guaranteed, $55 million per year. Adams' deal is $20 million per year. DK's is $32, which means T. Higgins is getting 32 or 33, maybe 34, but we'll have to see. Or no, I'm sorry, DK's 33, meaning T. Higgins will get 33 or 34, maybe 35, but probably 33 or 34 million per year, if the Bengals even want to pay it. Bengals might be saying, "Oh man, we didn't think it was going to be that much. Never mind. We'll keep him on the tag," and then Higgins is going to be like, "No." And then we'll see where it goes from there. What's this mean for A-Rod? Definitely ain't chasing Adams. Yeah, Lewis, thank you for the super chat. It means that Tennessee could be his end landing spot if all things fall apart for him, which could also have him retire versus going there. Or maybe Minnesota. Maybe the Giants sound like they could be out, but that's rumors. We don't know if that's even smoke. I would say, the Giants are, I mean, it's possible the Steelers look at them, but I think they're going to Russ. We'll see. It's tough to know, bro. Aaron Rodgers, Minnesota has been talked about a lot, but I just don't know. I just don't think that's where he's going to go. There's a real chance he retires. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how he feels about Tennessee. I can't imagine he'd want to go somewhere to have his legacy completely dismantled. You can't possibly think Tennessee's a good spot. If he goes to Tennessee, I'll be beyond myself. But I can say that I did not expect DK Metcalf to pick the Steelers, and I know everyone's going to say he didn't have a choice. He did. He could have easily said, "I'm not signing this extension. I want to sign the extension here." It's possible what had happened, though, is the Steelers go, "Look, the Seahawks said, it's either Pittsburgh or we're not trading you." And then he said, "Okay." That could have been that they strong-armed him there, but But, the guy didn't want to turn down a $150 million deal. Can you blame him?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, like, the Chargers were one place, and you saw, like, people thought he preferred the Chargers if he could pick a place. If the Chargers wanted him, maybe the Chargers weren't willing to pay that.
Yeah. Man, this is crazy. This is.
I'll tell you one thing. The way this is kind of all played out so far, the one thing I definitely know is we know nothing about what these teams really think there. I would have never imagined DK landing in Pittsburgh.
Well, we talked about it. It wasn't like out of the realm of possibility, but it was because they've been looking for, like what we've always said on here, is they've been looking for a receiver for a long time. But the question is, would they actually pay up? And at the end of the day, they haven't been really willing to not only pay the draft capital, but to pay
this is rarefied air for the Steelers. The Steelers don't really play around in free agency like this. This is a big splash for them. So I'll give it to Omar Khan on this one. I think he's got something else up his sleeve as well, too. But my last question for you, Smitty, is just, so I don't think DK's ADP changes as much, but what about, say, if Fields resigns with the Steelers, how do you think that changes his ADP?
If Fields signs with the Steelers and they trade, I think as I mapped out earlier, if they trade away Pickens, and they also bring in Fields, I think DK could go up, or at least stay the same, but could go up in value. And he would probably return to a bold prediction board of some kind, whether it's my Moonman prediction or bold Omar's prediction. And for those that are new that don't know what I'm talking about, here these are like the player predictions we have. This is the Saturn men.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man.
He's on a shuttle.
I had
to
DK
Mars.
right here.
Mars man.
If Fields is the quarterback and Pickens is gone, he could 100% return. If Pickens stays and Fields is the starter, I think he stays where he's at, and I could see myself still wanting to put him on the board, but maybe I'd take him off and just, he's somebody that we like a lot, but he's not worthy of a very coveted bold prediction spot. But if Russell Wilson returns and let's say Pickens stays, I don't think DK can support his current ADP. If Pickens gets traded and Russell Wilson returns, I think that he could support probably where he's at, to answer your question from every single angle. All right. See you later, Tebow.
Right on, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah.
We'll see you tonight when you announce the Steelers.
Yeah. If there's another one, there's another drop, we'll be back. We're not going anywhere yet, but 740 you on YouTube. Please hit that thumb up button and subscribe if you're new. These are the two pieces of news that we're dealing with, or three pieces of news we're dealing with right now. Adams, $20 million a year. What's that do for the wide receiver market? DK Metcalf, $33 million per year. What's that do to the wide receiver market? And Josh Allen, $55 million per year. What's that do to the Brock Purdy, Darnold and Fields and sweepstakes of all the quarterbacks? What else are you thinking here, Travis? Anybody wants to call in? Call in.
Yeah, with the ADP thing with Fields versus Russ and stuff, like, it's funny, but like I know you do too, and a lot of us value Fields over Russ, but a lot of people doubt Fields, so it wouldn't surprise me if ADP went up more with Russ than Fields.
Maybe.
There's a lot of people that think Fields is nothing.
That's a good point. We might be quietly higher, but that was my take anyway, I guess. Reed for Adams 1 year dynasty rental. Sure. I probably would. Joe, as much as I love Jaden Reed, I think
he can win.
I think if you can win some cash money. You say rental like you can win, so that's why I would answer it that way. If you can't win, then you wouldn't be renting them. So yeah, I'd definitely take Adams. I'd say the same thing about Debo. I think Debo is a great go-get in dynasty for people that need a good wide receiver this year, and you're willing to sacrifice something like a second rounder. I said late first or whatever, or like a 2027 first rounder. I'd rather you do a couple seconds. Seconds would be better for Debo. Joe says, or Jose says, because of this channel, I won my first dynasty startup. Congratulations, my boy. Nice job on that. Appreciate you. All right, new caller 773. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Roger, and I'm calling from North Carolina.
What's up, Roger?
What do you think Aaron Rodgers will go to?
Like we just talked about that. I would say like the Titans seem like a last resort for him, which I don't know if he'll be okay with. I think he could. You could hear him talk about New York again, although that seemed to have gotten shut down a little bit earlier today. Seattle's certainly in the mix, but Darnold's the likely guy. If Darnold goes to, let's say, another location, then Seattle might be. That's why I'm saying the dominoes are all affected by one domino dropping. I don't think Aaron Rodgers goes anywhere but Seattle, Tennessee, or maybe New York. But if one of those dominoes drops there, or the Giants trade up to the 1 pick, now the Giants are completely out on Aaron Rodgers because they're going to draft Cam Ward. There's so many ways that this could change and alter it. But I'd say, like, right now, I don't know. I don't think Aaron Rodgers fits well anywhere.
Okay.
You know, where do you want him to go?
I was thinking New York, the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I want them to take Ward or Sanders or Dart. I'd rather get kickstarting the future rapport between the quarterback and. You might say you don't like this quarterback class, and I can accept that. I don't necessarily agree, but I can accept that and understand why you'd want to bridge quarterback and then go get Arch Manning. But are you really going to get the 1 pick? You don't know. You know, Arch Manning's only going to one team, and it's not a sure bet. Giants did their damnedest to get that 1 pick turned into the 3 pick by winning their last game, this last season. So,
right.
All right, Roger. Anything else?
All right. No, that's it.
All right, later. Appreciate you, bro. Call back if you got another one.
Later. All right.
What are you guys thinking? $33 million a year for DK Metcalf.
There is in next year's class. There should be a couple other decent quarterbacks, Drew Aller and Nussmeier, and there's a couple others too. So, it might not be that the team has to go for Arch Manning. I mean, he's probably going to be the guy, but
yeah, that's true. Every year there's always.
I still think Ward would be the way to go, though, especially because Dayball and I don't know, maybe Scheinbach's there just as blackmail on the team and he'll be there forever. But you'd think the two of them are kind of coaching for the job, so if they could get a young QB with promise, they might get a little more on the leash there.
Yeah, I got sick in my throat is this is Rock Out. He says, got sick, my throat is shot, but not ideal spot for DK, but still solid with Russ and Adams to Rams. Bring Puka down a bit. I'll take him in the 2nd round, says Rock Out. Yeah, I think for me, Puka at the top of round 2 is fine. Bottom of round 1's fine. But I don't think you can have him at like 5 anymore, or these dark horse wide receiver 1 talk is, you got to throw it out the window. It doesn't mean that he drops past 12 overall. It's a very respectable territory. But, this is also a player that's been surviving on situation more than talent. I'm not saying he's not a talented guy, but he is not the specimen physically that JJ is. Puka Nacua is not Jamar Chase or JJ or Neighbors. He's not. He's a Rudy Rudiger, the hardest working player you could find with tremendous skill and ability and desire to jump for a ball that no other person's even thinking about jumping for. And that's part of why you love him and part of why he's so good. But it's also part of why he's likely to miss 3-4 games a year and eventually miss a season with a torn ACL because he contorts his body and throws himself into danger. But yeah, I think top of 2 is fine. It's not an easy thing to decide. Let me get this caller out and then go to Ron Navy real quickly. Ron, hang tight. I'm going to get Ron's take in 1 second. Actually, the other caller, I don't think the call went through. Ron, you're live. How you feeling about DK?
I'm Navy. Yeah, how you feeling, Ron?
Yeah, I saw that come in, and I was wondering when you were going to go live on. I saw the Adams thing first, and then I had to double check and triple check, make sure I was reading it right. That Metcalf was going to the Steelers. I was like, really? Wow.
Yeah, you gotta be happy.
I like it.
Yeah, You got to be happy about that. Smitty might as well just do a 24-hour live stream. We pretty much are on and off. I don't know that I'll do a 24-hour live stream again. I don't know that I need to do that anymore. Those are rough. Those kind of like, I don't know. Real quickly, Ron, let me just put this. 925 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Smitty, what's good with my boy, man? This is Travis from the Bay Area, California, bro.
Okay, Travis, appreciate you. Mute yourself real quick. I'll be right with you. Travis from the Bay. Okay. Hang tight.
Absolutely, bro. No rush, fam.
All right. Go ahead, Ron. And real quickly, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Ron. Go ahead. I was gonna do something, but never mind. Go ahead. He did
So,
I mean,
if the Steelers keep Russ, at least Metcalf has familiarity, and I think he's a perfect addition with Pickens. It gives us that number 2 wide receiver that we need, and we all talked about Metcalf's, range. I mean, he's big, he's tall, he's got wingspan like to the heavens, and so he's kind of like perfect for the type of moon ball that we hate Russell Wilson.
So you don't think Pickens
perfect for that? They already got that report.
You don't think Pickens is getting traded? It sounds like a trade.
No, I don't think Pickens is going to get traded. We needed a number 2. I was mad because we didn't get a valid number 2 last year. And the thing is we can afford it because we're the lowest dead cap money team out there, and we got plenty of cap space. We're not even hurt for cap space, so we can pretty much, the market's open to us. And I'm glad that they
I'd almost be willing to bet you Pickens gets traded. I think that there's almost zero chance that he is okay with DK making $150 million. I think this pisses him the hell off. And I think he's going to be
he's
so
still on
complicated.
his rookie contract.
I think he's going to be so complicated to deal with.
I don't know. Maybe not, because he's still on his rookie contract, and it actually will open him up more to where he, as long as he performs, if he's able to perform and he gets, a lot better, that opens him up for being able to get payday once he's in negotiations for a new contract out of his rookie contract. I'm not going to go that far to saying that.
He's an unrestricted free agent next offseason, though. He's an unrestricted free agent next offseason, though.
Well, I know next offseason, so that gives them the ability to showcase himself this year.
Well, are they going to franchise tag him though? You know what I mean? Like there's.
They can always.
But my point is, when you trade a player, though, it usually is in this exact contractual state where it's like you got 1 year left. This is the year, and then you got to make that move before you lose the rights to that player and the ability to trade him. You could franchise tag him, but dare I say that Pickens probably, with DK in town and with your only 2 QB options right now being Fields or Russell Wilson, neither of which is probably going to feed both of them to the point where you're franchise tagging Pickens off of the 2025 season. If I had to guess, he's not going to have that kind of year. So you're literally either trading him now or you're losing him next year.
I don't think they're trading him.
Okay, well, I'd be willing to.
You put yourself right back in the same situation you were already in with not having a good number 2 receiver. So if you trade Pickens, your number 1, and make Metcalf your number 1 receiver, then you just put yourself back in the same position.
Yeah, well.
So yeah, I don't think they trade him. I think they keep him and let him play this year and.
Hey,
they'll have
super chat. Hey, super chat of your choice. You don't have to decide a number. And then if I lose, I write Ron Navy on my arms. You can pick
as far as Pickens being traded.
Yeah, Pickens will get traded. We'll make the cutoff. Week 1 or whatever. You don't have to choose a high number. Just you could do whatever. Doesn't super chat a choice. just saying Smitty's right. Here's a super chat, and then I'll put Ron Navy on my arms and marker and do a live stream.
Oh, man. I haven't won one of these bets yet, Smitty.
Ron Navy's so quick to say whatever.
I'd just be jinxing myself.
Is that what you're not wanting to do it?
Stay there.
Okay. I'll let you simmer on it for a little bit. Yeah, I know what you're saying about the number 2 wide receiver. It's logical, but again, the same reason I said that, I didn't think Najee would return, and Najee could come back because there's no market. But when they didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Najee, when we were talking about that, like the way the contracts are set up and the way that now is time to move. Now is not time to move. When you don't pick up a 5th year, you're saying you don't believe in the player. Like I think the same thing that I predicted there with the Steelers when we talked about that is going on here. Like they can't afford to hold on to Pickens. And he's going to be such a headache now. And if you trade him, he gets his money. So if you're Pickens, think about it from this perspective, Ron. Pickens is going to request a trade or be so hard to deal with because he knows that if a team trades for him on a contract year, they're going to sign him to an extension. So Pickens gets paid if he gets traded. So why is he not going to cause havoc? Pickens is going to request a trade. He's going to request a trade or create absolute havoc.
No, I don't think so, because if he does that, no team's going to want to deal with him. No team. I mean, he's already had a past where no team wants to deal with that. No team wants to bring in toxicity. So I disagree with that part. I think the fact that he's already caused that type of stuff will deter teams from offering big money.
Well, maybe.
So I think
maybe no one
he
wants
plays
to
out the year.
We'll see.
He plays out the year with the Steelers. And it's up to him to be successful. So if the Steelers want to trade him next year, they can. I mean, it's the same thing. What if we would have brought Ayuk in and you got Ayuk? Would that, you need that second wide receiver.
I know you do. I know.
So
I get that's where you're
just
coming
think,
from. I get that that's the angle you're coming from. But again, the angle.
And we can afford them. We can afford to keep him. We're not like I said, our dead cap money is the lowest in the league. We're well below.
But you're
going
to lose them. You're going to lose them, though.
We can do whatever we want to do.
I don't know.
Well,
you could be
a
right.
Guy that's not going to be mad and cause problems.
Yeah.
If you can get a decent pick for him, and you bring in whether it's a veteran guy or a trade for someone else or whatever it is, don't you want to make sure that isn't going on? I mean, DK already has a little bit of a history with complaining about getting the ball and stuff, which is fine. But Pickens seems to take it to another level, and you don't want that in a wide receiver room.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here you go, Travis. Is the thing is DK.
Hampton's better than Najee.
He's had his
Way
stuff,
better.
but I mean, when Russ was in Seattle, he did really well. And he fed it to Lockett too, so there was no problems with the number 1, number 2.
Biagio, mute yourself.
They were
please.
both getting
Thank you.
fed. So what means? I mean, you got Pickens,
Okay.
who's unbelievable with his talent.
All
There's
right.
enough to go around.
I hear
There's enough to go around.
I hear what you're saying, and the only way I think Ron ends up being right is that if nobody wants to trade for Pickens, they're like, screw this guy. Like, I don't want him, and then the Steelers are stuck with him. But I can almost guarantee you, Ron, think about Pickens' headspace and where he's at right now. If you're his agent or you're just a friend, or if it was me and I was talking to him on the street corner, you would tell him if he can't figure this out for himself, and maybe he can't. Maybe Pickens doesn't understand things like that. But you tell him you are either going to stay where you are and not get paid, or if you get traded, you automatically and instantly get $30+ million per year on a big contract extension, because 0 teams will trade for you without the extension. So you're getting paid. So you don't think that it's in his best interest to make a scene right now? You think it's in George Pickens' best interest to be quiet, get paid his rookie contract amount of money, instead of saying, hey, if I start banging myself against the walls over here and causing a scene, I might get $30 million a year times 3 or 4. Like, it's in his best interest to make noise. Otherwise, he's not getting paid. And how frustrating would it be if you're him in his headspace looking at DK Metcalf making $33 million per year? He gets traded, he gets $30 million per year. That's plain and simple. But we'll see. You never know. I know it's what you want to have both wide receivers. I know the Steelers have been wanting 2 wide receivers, and I'm not saying
ideal for sure.
I'm not saying the Steelers aren't going to try to see if he notices, but maybe Pickens won't notice, and he'll be like,
You know how much I hate Tomlin and all that, and everything. But one thing that Tomlin is pretty good at is relating to the players. He has had that. The players love him. I don't love him, but the players love him. And you get him around that area, and then Tomlin has a way to elevate players. And I think he can do that with Pickens because he is a good cheerleader. He is good that way. He's good at being a cheerleader.
We'll see.
He's terrible at other things. But
Miguel says, "Sup, Smitty, where do you see Hendrickson going?" I don't know. I don't know. The question will be like, how close? What's his value? You know, is if $40 million is now the benchmark. Like, does he think he can get that? And how much is a team willing to pay him? And can the Bengals afford to sign all 3? Probably could, but probably won't. Hard to say. I don't know where he's going, bro. If he goes somewhere, God, if anybody got a guess, throw it out there. I don't know. This is a tough one. Jeez.
It's hard to know because teams come out of nowhere to get a guy like him too.
Yeah,
I'd
be guessing without any sort of educated guessing. It would just be. It's a good question.
Yeah.
I do wonder if the Davante Adams mixed with the $33 million per year that DK got. I wonder if that could potentially move this thing in a direction back into the direction of where the team could potentially have all 3. But keep in mind that usually when a player requests a trade, 8 times, and this is a guess, but I think it's pretty accurate, 8 times out of 10, the player gets traded. You know, unless the player has no market and the team's like, bro, go. You think you're gonna make a fool of yourself? Go test the market. That whenever there's a market, it's a good player. It's a young player still, or a good player. Like Cup, go test the market. Cup's not finding anything. That's different. But Hendrickson's gonna have a market. So 8 times out of 10, you test the market, you get traded. So I think he probably gets traded at this point. I think the cat's out of the bag on that one, but I don't know where he's going to go. It's a great question. We'll definitely be reporting on it once it happens, but stay tuned on that one. DK is the key that picks the lock for the Steelers offseason and drafts as BBQ. Yeah, and keep in mind, like, if it's me and I can trade Pickens away and get something, and I can just draft a replacement, or you can bring in, let's say, an Amari Cooper or a Keenan Allen. Like, Keenan Allen in Pittsburgh would be a pretty good replacement for George Pickens for 1 year. I don't think that would be that bad.
Whoa, then you're just putting Band-Aids on the situation.
Well,
you don't want to put Band-Aids on the situation. You want to build your team for
I don't
success.
like Pickens, though.
You don't
Pickens is a head case. I don't think he's going to be a good long-term situation.
No, you don't like Pickens, but you can't deny his talent. And if they can get to a place where Pickens is having a good year, Metcalf is having a good year, I mean, you could both say they're.
I can deny his talent, Ron. I can deny his,
but
I can deny his talent because I don't think he can tap into it. He's not going to allow himself to tap into it. I think he's an absolute head case. I think if he goes somewhere else, maybe he has a shot at I don't know, if he gets enough attention, he's going as a one somewhere. Like, maybe Pickens goes to New England. Travis would be no. I mean, maybe Travis would be excited about the talent. The physical talent is there, but I don't know that he can tap into it in this environment, especially with DK now there, and with having a likelihood, in my opinion, of Russell Wilson being the quarterback, which is probably going to end up happening. I think Russ comes crawling back, and he's actually Russ never left. He's sitting in the bushes like this, waiting.
Yeah.
And the Steelers think they're going to go explore, and they're not going to get anything, and they're going to call Russ up and go, Russ, we were just testing you. We wanted you the whole time. come in. I know you're outside. And then Russ will, scan in. They'll make sure his ID works again. He scans in the building, comes in, gives his imaginary high fives, and he doesn't feed both wide receivers properly. That's what's going to happen. There's no way Russell Wilson is delivering enough footballs in this limited offense anyway. It's an offense for, I think, a quarterback that's going to be managing the game a little more than I don't know, man. I think Pickens would be upset all year long. I think the Steelers know that. I think Pickens is going to cry and complain about DK's $33 million per year. How would he not? How would Pickens walk into this season going, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. When all he has to do is get traded and he gets $30 million a year. He gets traded $30 million a year. If he leverages this to get traded, he gets $30 million a year times 3 or 4 years. He gets
he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah, he's gone.
Ron, what about say they trade Pickens and they draft like a Nabuka or something like that?
That'd be
crazy.
Yeah, but the problem is, we drafted Roman Wilson, and he spent the whole year injured reserve pretty much. We didn't get much out of him. Now, granted, they've always been good at getting wide receivers.
Did you just compare chopped liver to a steak? Did you just compare Roman Wilson to Egbuka? That's like comparing a $100 bill to a roll of quarters, a dollar's roll of quarters.
No, Roman Wilson. No, he was supposed to be good, but we never got to see him.
I didn't say he wasn't like.
We don't know what we have. We don't know what we have with Roman Wilson.
But
except somebody sitting on the bench.
Okay, so he's still a prospect.
So,
the prospect of Roman Wilson is nowhere near the prospect of Egbuka.
Facts.
No, but still, I mean.
I know what you're saying, but I'm just trying to
win now. Why get rid of? Why? I just don't see it. I think Pickens plays this year. They give him give him incentives to play, and
let me circle around the phone lines real quick, Ron. Just hang tight real quick, Ron.
Yeah.
Travis,
Travis
from San Francisco, not Travis, our moderator. Travis from San Francisco. Go ahead, Travis, from the Bay.
Hey, what's up, boys? Thank you, Smitty. Yeah, I'm the other Travis, man. No, it's taken. No, for sure. But to stay on topic, Pickens better ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's in Pittsburgh, and bro, they should just start Justin Fields. They should have just went with Justin Fields to begin with.
Well,
they
we
could
know
have already
that.
been built on
we
something.
said that all year, but now they have neither quarterback, and Justin Fields is out shopping and getting wined and dined by another franchise probably as we speak.
He deserves it. I hope he gets the money, and he's been screwed over, it feels like.
Oh, yeah. Why would you go back to Pittsburgh? So they can screw you again? You know? But go ahead. So Pickens, Pickens, I don't know, man. As I said, I don't think he stays quiet. How could he?
Oh, he's gone, bro. You already know.
Staying quiet means you don't get paid. There's no way.
Exactly.
Someone's in his ear. Someone's in his ear, his agent or somebody's. His agent gets paid if he gets paid. So you're telling me his agent isn't George.
All of social media is going to tell him, what are you doing? Come on, bro. We know how it is. We know how it is. Come on, bro. Like, in this day and age.
His agent's going to say, George, let's both get paid because he gets paid when George gets paid. Let's go get paid. Let's go get paid.
There you go.
That's all you got to do. I know what Ron's saying, and I know it makes sense to Ron that he would stay, and Ron wants him to stay. You know, Ron wants this to be he wants this marriage to work.
You know, he'd be a perfect two. But
sure,
he would want to.
In an ideal world,
and
you know,
DK's the one. George Pickens is the two. DK's the one. George Pickens is not the one in Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
Here's the thing. It doesn't do Pickens any good whatsoever to be a head case with a year left on his contract.
Yeah, Ronnie gets paid. He gets paid if he's a head case. He doesn't get paid.
I get what you're saying.
No, I mean if he acts out, he loses money because he's acting out, and so
he'll just get traded. What do you mean? You know,
Ron, if he gets traded, he gets.
That. Pittsburgh doesn't reward bad behavior. They do not. So I'm betting he plays this year, and he's given the incentives. Hey, listen, we're going to make a run this time, and Pittsburgh has the money to pay him.
But
if he performs well, they can offer him a long-term contract.
But that's the thing.
You don't know that.
But Ron, you got to look at this from the team perspective. Aside from what not rewarding Pickens' bad behavior, all that, This feels a little bit like the DeAndre Swift when Gibbs was drafted, and everyone's like, "Oh, what? But what?" And then Swift's gone. They trade him. I see the Steelers maybe even having a conversation with them already or something. But this feels like something where if you're the Steelers, you got to get rid of him or you lose him. There's going to be no loyalty to the Pittsburgh Steelers for George Pickens if he has a good year. He's not gonna give him a hometown discount or even decide to stay. He's gonna go explore elsewhere where someone is gonna appreciate him in his mind. But there's no Rod. There's no paying him next year. That he's an unrestricted free agent unless he has the year of a lifetime. They're not gonna franchise tag him next year, so he's gone. The Steelers have to trade him now, or they lose everything next year. This time next year, they lose every dime. And my guess is they're betting against him more than they're betting on him because he's already been a disaster since he's been there. I just think that if you're the franchise, you're saying to yourself, let's go get Amari Cooper on a real cheap deal or Keenan Allen on a real cheap deal or draft a replacement for him on top of that. And let's get rid of this head case before we lose him completely next offseason. Because there's no way they're going to pigeonhole him with a tag.
For one, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee if you draft the replacement that
there'll be a head case like Pickens.
Number two, we've already brought Allen. We brought in veterans already. That doesn't work. I mean, now we got Metcalf, which I think will
There's
work.
Pickens. Pickens hasn't worked.
Not without Pickens, because Metcalf can't do it on his own.
Either can Pickens. You're acting like Pickens was a success. You know what I mean? Like the way you're talking about it, it's like George Pickens was we can't replace Pickens. He's too good. He's already proven. Like doesn't work when you do that. We finally have a formula that works. Not really, Ron. He had 900 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was 81st in the league in touchdowns, 32nd in yardage, 54th in receptions. He didn't have a good year. And he was capable of being a top 10 wide receiver.
Why didn't he have a good year? We had no valid number
because
two.
He's a head case.
We had no valid number 2. We have Arthur Smith as an OC, which
I do have to say, Ron, you've been keeping
with a valid
cool
number
lately.
2, I think that he does a lot better.
Ron, are you getting a massage right now? Because you're as cool as a cucumber. You're getting screamed at left and right, and Ron hasn't raised his tone one single bit.
Love you, Ron.
Ron's like, I don't know what's going on with him lately.
Hey, they could get something
calm
for
as can
Pickens,
be.
though. Like they could get something for him right now, though, and Pickens could leave and be happy and ball. You know, I mean, I know you're a Steelers guy, Ron.
Ron's
you
eating
know,
a steak
I get
this
it,
big right now. Ron, do you have steak tonight? Is that why
but you're not going to get? There's no guarantee you're going to get somebody without. I mean, that's
903
close to his talent. His talent is great.
Utilize
you can work with him.
It's hard to replace. That's Adams.
But Freiermuth's only good for certain situations. He doesn't stretch the field. He doesn't do all this other stuff.
It's hard to replace this 903.
But they need with Metcalf and Pickens, they have the ability to stretch the field, to help each other out. Even with Russ, though I'm not a big Russ fan, and I agree with the whole Fields take, but Fields started out, with a winning record last year, and they fucked them. I mean, that's the bottom line. This Fields got fucked, so Fields don't want to go play for them anymore. Why would you?
Hey, Calvin makes a good point that
more likely we're going to get stuck with Russ. But Russ has already familiarity with DK Metcalf, which is good.
I mean, you don't know that. You don't know that.
He can get the ball.
Hey, Calvin makes a good point. The number 14 can only be worn by one player. So Pickens is gone. DK wants it. Okay, thank you, Calvin.
I mean, if they kept Pickens, they could win if they started Fields, but
they were 4-2. They were winning. Tomlin had his foot up his own rear end.
I started
all year.
Fields a couple games in fantasy. I was a Fields guy at one point, bro, for sure. I believe in Fields. Poor kid. I hope I hope he finds success, bro. He deserves it, and maybe he will with the Steelers. You never know. He's got a mature mindset. You never know. But
right. Hey,
I agree.
Hey, hold on.
Let
me go over to Matt Biaggia real quick. Everybody mute yourself real quickly. Matt Biaggia, then over to Dre. Matt Biaggia, Dre, and then Gump in that order. Go ahead, Biaggia.
Smitty, I mean, I can't agree with you more. I mean, they might already have a place ready for him to be traded. I mean, they might, in talk what Ron just said, the Steelers don't put up with that. What better way to send him off to some other crappy place, send him to Jacksonville, I don't know, somewhere there, get back something. They got the money. Go get another number 2, draft a running back. I mean, the Steelers run the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pound the ball. Tomlin needs to win this year. So I don't think it's that bad. I understand, Ron. You know, you want both those wide receivers, but
and Ron, keep in mind you are talking
right.
from a purely speculative projecting that Pickens amounts to what he's supposed to amount to, whereas the rest of us, and it's understandable, and you're a Steeler fan, so, but it's understandable. But from where we're coming from, Pickens is not that guy. I mean, he has potential to be, but so did Josh Gordon, so did many other players, you know. So I don't know that Pickens, and I don't even think Pickens will get you what you think you're going to get in a trade. Like Ron might be furious when the Steelers announce that they trade Pickens for a ham sandwich. Ron's going to go, why don't we just keep him?
Proving a point. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Ron, you say they don't reward good behavior, then that might be another reason why they get rid of him and say, look, we don't want you in our locker room anymore. We're bringing in DK Metcalf. We're bringing a Volkswagen. Guy's got a catch radius the size of a 6-seater Volkswagen. And Pickens has got his head's about that big. But I don't know. I don't see a world where, think of it like if any of you work in the workplace. It's been a while for me, so I can't even fathom it. But if you guys close your eyes and picture the guy next to you or the girl next to you in the cubicle next to you that does half the job that you do and just got moved to your team, and they give this person a raise to the tune of maybe 33 times what you're making per hour. How are you going to feel? You're going to be pretty pissed off. And if someone whispered in your ear, hey, if you get traded to another team, you'll get that same raise. You're going to be like, excuse me, I have a problem. There's no way George Pickens is going to stay quiet. There's no way. And there's also, though, no way a team doesn't sign him to a long-term deal if they trade for him, because there's no point in doing that. That's why DK, when this trade happened, the contract is always announced in parallel with the trade, and if it's not, then the trade won't go through. The team will back out. So Pickens will get paid. Now, he might. This is where you could end up being right at the end of the day. He might pull a Brandon Ayuk and just botch all of it and be like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. And his agent's going to go, bro, you can't get $33 million a year. You're George Pickens. You're a head case. You can get, 29. 27. Who knows? Davante Adams got 20. No offense, Ron, but I'd rather pay Davante Adams $20 million this year than pay Pickens $20 million this year.
Yeah.
So,
Adams.
Davante's good.
He
bro.
hasn't really
Davante's good.
done anything in a
all right,
while.
all right. Let me go over to Dre.
Let me
go over to Dre real quick. Everybody,
Very
mute if you
good
could.
pass.
Dre, you're live. Speak your mind, Dre.
Uncle Smitty, how you doing?
What's up?
I'm here to introduce some new lingo. I know you talk about a lot of lingo, from carryover trust, the cot, etc., the line in the sand. I'm here to introduce you to something. The word is called crash out. Do you know what that word means, Uncle Smitty?
Yes.
Somebody who acts without care of consequences. They don't care what happens. Let me tell you something.
That happens to Ron. It happens to Ron at the end of a long live stream, by the way. Go ahead.
The Steelers had two crash outs. DK Metcalf and George Pickens. I agree with you. There's no way they live with two. And that's all I got to say. You can't have two. It just makes a toxic team. Like you said, I understand the diva. The crash out is beyond diva. Have a good one, Mr. Smitty.
All right, later, bro. Did he mean Antonio Brown when he said crash out? Because he said George Pickens and DK. He said the Steelers have two.
DK.
Okay. But why is he calling?
He's saying that they both can be guys that'll crash out on you,
I
without
gotcha.
they are consequences around.
I got you. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Biaggia went. Gump, you're live. I don't think Gump has ever talked at the same time as Ron Navy. Go ahead, Gump. At least we know they're not the
Hello?
same person.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead, Gump.
Boy, I'll tell you, I only have to say 2 words for all that conversation, and that is Arthur Smith. What a horrible, pitiful coach. Horrible. Horrible. And I'll tell you, there ain't no way when fantasy Stevie kicks up the league and we're drafted, DK's right there, I'm going to think, I'm not going to think DK Metcalf, I'm going to think Arthur Smith. What a bum! What a bum! The Steelers are never going to go to Super Bowl with that bum. And by the way, is Kyle Pitts in free agent this year?
Is that a second person or is that Gump? Did he just change voices?
No, he's not.
Did Gump just transform?
No, is that?
That was nice.
I heard like a babbling, screaming lunatic, and then all of a sudden it was like, is Kyle Pitts getting traded?
I don't like Arthur Smith.
Is this 2 people?
But is Kyle Pitts available this year?
Kyle Pitts is not available. The Falcons are not interested, or are they even remotely trying to shop him? So the answer is no, Gump.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gump, I've never heard you so animated before.
Yeah, you're talking to a legend.
I don't like
really good.
Arthur Smith. He wrecked Kyle Pitts. He's horrible. Horrible.
No, but DK is going to block great. He's going to block great in that offense.
I got to admit, I'm not a.
Okay, listen.
Arthur Smith sucks.
When I told the Don, but you say call him Donnie Boy.
Yeah, we don't call him the Don over there.
We call him Donnie Boy. When I told Donnie Boy that you said that Chicago wrecked Fields.
Wrecked him.
And messed him up. He hung up the phone on me, but before he did that, he F-bombed the heck out of me.
Now you tell him to call into this channel. You tell the little Don that if he wants to call over here, I'll tell him what I think about how Justin Fields got completely misused and mistreated. He doesn't agree? Are you talking about Chicago?
He
Both.
F-bombed me.
Both, yeah.
F-bombed me, and he F-bombed me, and then he F-bombed me, and then he hung
You
up
tell
the
you
phone.
tell him to deal with me. You tell him to call into my show.
You don't deserve that, Gump.
And we'll have a conversation with the little tiny Don.
I mean, real bad.
Itty bitty Don. Tiny Don, we call him. All right.
Don't steer him up. He's like Archer Bunker. You know, he knows everything.
I love how Gump says
all the
words
math.
wrong. Hey, what is it? What bunker? What? Words.
I'm an idiot.
He says all the words wrong. Would you say bunker? Who? What's his name?
Archie Bunker.
Okay, he said it right then.
All in the family.
Yeah, he's like. He's
Thank you,
bad.
Luke. Appreciate
he sits
you.
in this big chair, and when fantasy season goes around, he does readouts and stats.
We don't
for
even know
weeks
who this
ahead
guy
of time
is.
on every
Gump talks
player.
about him all the time.
He's got a big old pile.
Okay.
And he says, "I'm a pile."
All right, Gump.
I'm a Gomer pile.
Hold on, Gump. Calm down. Hold on a second. 310 caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Uncle Smitty, this is Mel B from Compton, California.
LB?
Mel.
From
the chat.
From Compton. What's up, Mel?
I have 2 points. And, well, first of all, great show as always. I love tapping in. 2 questions, though. One of them is, I know that we talked about Cooper Kupp and Davante Adams virtually or essentially being the same type of player.
Yeah,
and
argument.
If that is the case, why are we, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything, but why are we talking about the AP scoring going down for Puka and up for Matt Stafford if Cooper and Davante are essentially the same type player?
Great question, and I did kind of answer this. I don't expect you to listen to every piece of the show, and so I'm not saying that. But I did talk about this. Essentially, I do think Adams is better than Cooper Kupp. I'm just saying that if you're Cooper Kupp, in your mind, you're thinking, what in the hell? You know, if you're going to trade me in for a younger model, you know, he's in his 30s, the younger model's in the 20s, and you're like, you understand, you don't like it, you know, you're upset, you know, but it is crazy to think these guys are like near the same age, and it's just, you got to be upset about it. The thing about Adams is Cooper Kupp had one of the best seasons in the history of the NFL, but it was 1 year, and he doesn't bring the the knowledge, the motivation, the intelligence of the game, the route running. Even though Kupp is a good route runner, this is one of the best route runners in the history of the NFL. And he did just bring a 10, 63, and 8 TD season to the table, whereas Kupp didn't. So if he is on Kupp's, track and he's a year behind him, then we expect, if we do believe that, Adams to go off the ledge the same way Kupp went off the ledge last year. That's the only thing we're saying is it feels a little bit like if you're Kupp, you're pissed off. But I would swap out Kupp and Adams because Kupp didn't deliver. Now, you could say this to your point about does Stafford maybe ignore Adams like he ignored Kupp, and maybe Kupp didn't drop off, which there's some thinking to that because you watch the film on Kupp. It wasn't like he wasn't getting out of his breaks or he wasn't doing good route running. You kind of watch it in curiosity. Kupp! You kind of watch it in curiosity saying, how is Kupp not getting the football thrown to him? And there are even plays where Kupp is running wide open downfield without a player within 30 yards, and Stafford didn't even look to that side of the field. So
That's weird.
It is a little bit hard to figure, almost like Tyreek Hill. Hard to figure Tyreek Hill not having any sort of stats last year at all when he went out and broke the world record for base running around the diamond. So he's still quick, he's still fast. So what explains that? His wrist? No. His wrist isn't the reason he didn't catch footballs or even get targeted. So there's a lot of confusion around Tyreek Hill and Cooper Kupp's future value, why things didn't go well for him last year. But Adams did deliver 10, 63, and 8. And I do believe that Stafford's going to look to him with a different obligation and a different trust level. And do I think he'll produce this line? I would say don't bet on it, but it's certainly possible. But yeah, Stafford to the moon with this move because I don't know.
I got a question about that.
I like Adams for one more year. Go ahead. Is this still?
Mel, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. Were you trying to talk?
No, is this still Mel? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You had a question on that. I had a question about something else, but go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, Mel? This is Travis from up north, brother. Hey, yes, me. I had a question about that, bro. Because
what?
Shoot, man, like Cooper Kupp, Puka, Davante Adams, Kyren, bro. Like, I mean, maybe Kupp isn't as great, but I feel like that's one of the best offenses in football. Is that a stretch to say, bro? What do you guys think about that, bro?
Staying.
Mel, are you a Rams fan?
Kupp's not staying.
Nah, not at all. I'm a Buccaneers fan. But what I will say is they can still run 3 receiver sets because they don't really have a solid tight end, at least in my opinion. So they can still run 3 receiver sets and satisfy them all.
I don't mean to interrupt them.
I don't know, but I'll yield to the guru, Uncle Smitty. What you think?
Well, first of all, I think you said something about Kupp being the 3rd wide receiver. He's not going to be back with the team. But, this team is unreal, bro. Kyren to the moon, as Adam Schefter calls him, Pula Nakua. Right here on screen in the tweet that he put up. Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, Tutu Atwell, even Whittington. Whittington as you can't even use him wide receiver. That's phenomenal. Stafford to the moon. Yeah. And even though we're worried about Stafford to a significant degree, the idea of him staying healthy is a little bit more realistic with Davante Adams stretching the field with Puka Nacua. I think that this is going to be good. And Kyren, some might say, hey, Smitty, you tell me that Puka goes down a little in value, but you think Kyren goes up. That sounds real biased, but it really just comes down to Kyren. With the volume that Kyren got last year, he should have been running back 1 or 2. The reason Kyren fell out of the top 5 is because he was getting abused and his efficiency went down. Wasn't his fault. They were just totally telegraphing everything. We're going to give Kyren the ball 5 straight times right here. And Kyren would do his darndest. He would carry people on his back. He was as efficient as he could be. But this right here is going to dial back his touches like they've wanted to for a while. And I don't mean that they give Corum more work. I mean they give him smarter carries. And he's going to be ripping off 5 to 5.5 yards per carry. He's going to sneak into the end zone untouched more often than not because you're going to have Adams and Puka and this entire offense spreading out more. And I know you could say, well, why didn't Kupp do that? What's wrong? I mean, that's the thing is we don't know why Kupp didn't get along with this offense last year. But I will say this. For people like me that tried to find the answer to that, and I still admit I'm confused about it because I watched the film on Cooper Kupp and I don't see that he's dropped off, but there wasn't production, that we know. The thing that makes me think there is something wrong is when Cooper Kupp caught a pass late in the year, and I think it was like a heave, like what's the moon ball? It was a moon ball, and Kupp went up and dove for it, and he hadn't had any catches all game. I forget what week this was. Maybe I don't think it was the playoffs. I forget what week. He grabs the ball, lands on his back, and it was an amazing catch. It was a great catch, and it was like the only thing he'd done all day. And everyone ran over to him, and Stafford gave him a hug after, and they're like, "We did it, we did it. You caught it. You caught one, pal. You're back." And that made me think, oh my God, like it's that bad to where we're celebrating.
It shouldn't be like that.
So that's what makes me think he's at least donezo and dead in that environment. Like what was that about? You know, that tells you something.
Oh, can I ask one more question?
Yeah, who's talking right now?
Oh, this is Mel still.
Okay, go ahead, Mel. Go ahead, Mel.
Okay, going back to the Pittsburgh conversation, I wasn't sure if it was the second Travis or Ron Navy that mentioned as it relates to Pickens needing to stay on the team to be a WR2. And then I heard what you said about basically you have to get rid of him now because you'll lose the value next year.
In my opinion.
So both of them I understood both sides. But I wonder, what do you feel about Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin? Do you think any of them can step up, kind of like in a McMillan role with Tampa, and at least be a serviceable WR2, at least in the short future?
Let me say it this way. I don't believe in Roman Wilson like Ron does. I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't prove me wrong, but I have no evidence or any desire or a gut instinct on Roman Wilson at all. What I will tell you is I like Calvin Austin. And what I will tell you is it's not that hard to replace George Pickens' mother-freaking 900 yards and 3 TDs. You know who could do a pretty good job, and I'd love to see him get a shot, is Calvin Austin. And I know Ron likes Calvin too, so this isn't going to ruffle his feathers too much. I would love to see Calvin Austin in a number 2 role. You got DK Metcalf making up for this. Yeah. Why? Why?
He's a viable number 3.
He's a viable 2 in an offense that doesn't
on him,
air it out.
But no, Calvin Austin's not a number 2 wide receiver. He's not.
I think in this offense he could be. I think in this offense you're not getting 3 wide receivers to produce. Why has Calvin Austin not been consistent or done anything? Because it's not an offense that produces 3 wide receivers. Like Calvin Austin either does it as a 2 or he's not going to ever do it in Pittsburgh. I like Calvin Austin. I think you're cutting him short. No pun intended.
He is short.
I know.
He's as short as Russell Wilson.
Let's pull it up. Calvin Austin.
Is there a possibility?
Ziggy, how tall is Calvin Austin?
Calvin Austin weighs 162 pounds and is 5 feet 9 inches.
5 feet 9? I don't know.
I think
bro, he's been doing
higher than Calvin Austin as number 2. I think Austin is awesome as a really good slot guy in a high receiver 3. He can take it deep sometimes. They need to shoot higher than that.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. You bring in a Keenan Allen to play the wide receiver 2 role. Calvin Austin could outperform him from the slot.
Exactly.
I'm fine with him being the
100%.
Line him up in the slot, but he's still. I'm excited about what he could do if he's given the opportunity. I disagree. 5'9".
All right, Smitty.
5'9", 162.
Smitty, you got it. I'm okay. You got me. Congratulations, you got me. We're making that damn bet. Okay, fine.
Got Ron, I knew you'd get riled up at some point. You're too calm for too long. The bet, the challenge, if you will, is Pickens gets traded by week 1. And if he doesn't, I'm going to write Ron Navy and marker on my arm during the week 1 live stream that we choose. And if not, Ron's going to drop a super chat. He can pick whatever amount he wants. He'll probably pick 99 cents.
No, I don't think you should write it on your arm, though. I think you should write it on your forehead like I did.
I don't want to write it on my forehead.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm not going to write it on my forehead because it'd be hard to get off.
I'll
do it on my arms. I don't want to write it on my forehead. I got things I got to do.
And I even gave you the video.
I got to pick up kids from school once in a while. I can't have a Ron Navy on my forehead, but I will write it on my arms. I'll be wearing sleeves.
All you got to do is one live stream. Just do it in something that
We're good.
That you can easily take off after the live stream.
The arms are my offer. I think it's more than fair. I'll hold him up whenever you.
You have no gut.
When you say
You
Smitty,
always
point
win.
at
You
that.
gotta,
I'm wearing Ron Navy all my body.
Why wouldn't you agree
I'm
to go to
wearing
your
Ron.
forehead?
Ron, I'll write it on both sides of my
Go to your
arms. On
forehead.
both of my arms. I don't want to write it on my forehead.
Why not?
Because I'm a YouTuber for a living. I don't. There's other shows I might do. There's other things.
Live stream
Ron,
and then you
Ron,
take it off.
you can accept it or not. I'm gonna wear it. Ron Navy, Ron Navy, Ron Navy, Ron Navy. I'll write it on both sides of my arms 4 times. Okay, you'll have plenty of Ron Navy real estate. All right.
Love it. I love it.
All right. Let me go around the phone line and knock everybody off one by one. Mel, do you have any final thoughts?
Thanks for the show. Love it. Everybody, peace.
All right, thank you, pal. Appreciate you. Okay, Mel, thank you. And Matt Biaggia.
My final thought, I don't know if you touched on it about the Myles Garrett thing. So was this just a ploy to get paid the whole time, or do you think they kind of let him in and said, hey, we're going to get this QB or this is our plan? Or because he said he had a change of heart, but it's tough for me to think it wasn't all just for the money.
Well, I think 2 things. One, Brett, remember Brandon Ayuk wanted out. Just like, when people, want to move, want to move out of state and you do it, you're like, damn, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm homesick or whatever. I think a lot of these players think they want, this change and the grass is greener. That's number one. And then they change a heart when push comes to shove to push the button. And Brandon Ayuk backed out of Cleveland because he was so scared to leave. Number 2, I told everyone from the jump, to trade a good player, there needs to be 2 components involved: a fractured relationship between team and player and an offer that the team cannot refuse. And they need to be at the same time. Otherwise, there's no trade, unless it's a bad player. If it's a great player, a team has no business trading. You have to have both of those components. And so when Myles Garrett said he wanted out, and he's closing the door on an extension, Gump, is that Gump breathing? Gump, what are you doing? It's got to be
you want
Gump.
me to mute?
Yeah, is that you breathing? Who's mouth breathing? Who's sleeping on the phone? Who is
Might
that?
have been me. I was just getting.
It's Gump.
I admit it. Let me mute.
And so, anyways, in a nutshell, I said from the beginning, everyone's like, "Oh, he's gone. Where is he going?" And I'm like, "Why is everybody asking where is he going? He's not going anywhere yet. The relationship's got to get way more fractured to the point where the team's like, okay, what is the best offer? Right now, they're like, we're not trading you. You're a great player. We have no desire to trade you just because you're unhappy." So it was a matter of time before he came back. I did not think, you can go back to the original live stream, I did not think that Myles Garrett was going to get traded. And we've been right on pretty much everything so far. The only thing it's going to be hard to be accurate at all on these landing spots because, like I said, one domino falls. Like, look at these quarterback predictions. Russell goes to Pittsburgh. If this is Fields, then everything else changes. You can't just judge this on its totality because one domino changes everything. I think if you ask me one at a time, I could get them very accurate. But once one of these changes, like I'm predicting the Giants to trade up to 1. If they don't do that, that completely changes all of this. But we've been pretty damn accurate on the offseason so far. Really damn accurate.
I know you liked Rodgers too at Tennessee.
No, I
too,
don't.
So I didn't.
I don't
know
like it at
if he would
Tennessee.
take Cam.
I don't like
okay.
it. I don't
I'm
like
just saying
it.
if they do that, do the Browns take Cam Ward then at 2?
Yeah, the Browns would probably take Cam Ward. I don't like Rodgers at Tennessee, but I think that's probably where he gets stuck when the musical chair music stops and everyone's got a seat and he's like, shit, nobody wants to play with me. I don't see the market for Aaron Rodgers, but all it takes is one dancing partner. Maybe it ends up being, it still could be Pittsburgh. It still could be the Giants. It still could be maybe Minnesota, and then Tennessee's probably begging somebody, please play for us.
Great show, Smitty. Later,
bro. What, Travis?
You don't think Russ being there rules out? You don't think Russ just waiting in the wings rules out Rodgers? You don't think they'd rather have Russ?
Well, that's why I
feel
have.
like Russ wants to be there.
That's why I have Russ here for Pittsburgh, though. Yeah. So I do think Russ is. I think Russ is in the bushes right now, just hiding at the
Right, like
at the Pittsburgh
the
facility.
only place he wants to go.
No,
Go
he's the
somewhere
only
else
place.
if he
Yeah,
has to, but-
yeah. This is where he believes he can revive everything, and his coach loves him. His coach thought he was good. I don't understand it. All right, go ahead, Travis from San Francisco, from the Bay. Your final thoughts, please.
Oh yeah, bro. Shoot, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Should Aaron Rodgers just retire? Maybe. It better not be the same path as Brett Favre. Rams are looking good. Not much, bro. Much love from the Bay, man. And much
All right,
love
man.
to everyone in the chat.
Oh, by the way,
I was happy to talk to you guys.
You're a Niner fan, I assume, right?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude. That's what I was gonna ask you, fam, bro. I know you're a Cardinals guy, bro. That's kind of where I was leading, actually. In the very, very beginning, how do you feel about the Rams, bro? They look, bro. Whittington and Atwell with those two, bro. All four of those guys, bro. I don't know. With Kyron, ooh.
Well, keep in mind, Cup won't be back, but yeah, I mean, I think the Rams win the division. But I think the best thing that could have happened to you today as a Niner fan is that Josh Allen signed a $55 million per year deal and not a $60. That makes the negotiation between the Niners and Brock Purdy a lot closer. If he had signed a $60 million deal, Brock would have wanted at least 50 to 53. And so the fact that this man, the top of the market, signed at 55, Brock's request for 50 or 47 is not going to be crazy. And the Niners offered 45. So there's a good chance you get a deal done. The bad news is I don't know that Brock is the answer, but he's okay.
The answer, I know.
I just don't. I think he's good, but he's not great.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
All right,
see.
bro.
What can you do? Thank you, fam. Love you guys. Appreciate you, fam.
All right, let's go over to Mel. Mel, final thoughts, Mel? Mel? All right, Mel's out of here. Mel, appreciate you. Must be mute.
No, just thanks for the show. That's all.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mel. Later, bro.
Peace.
Where are we at? Gump. Final thoughts, Gump. You can mouth breathe.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. All right. We just fixing dinner over here. Some chicken biryani, Indian food.
Okay.
You know who's on my watch list now, don't you?
I don't know, Gump. Who?
You know what I'm saying? Matthew freaking Stafford, man. He's going to have a big year.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he will. He
Pick
will.
him up in the later rounds. Do your best draft stay up all night and just keep drafting Stafford. And you roll him back. I don't know what pick you think you can get him at.
Well,
he's
hey,
do pretty doggone good.
I'll give you an idea. I'll give you an idea. So here's the quarterbacks. I believe, what do we say? Dak was 17. What was it? What was Dak? Let me pull up the ADP. Gosh, man, he's all the way down. Stafford's so far down. It's so crazy, man. Stafford is quarterback number 26, but that's prior to today's information. Getting Davante Adams is certainly going to bump him. If I had to say from 26 to 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, put him at 17 or 18, which is still valuable. It's still, I think that's where he should be. That's where he should have been. So I think he's a couple of spots maybe potentially higher than that in terms of what he can maybe do. So, yeah, I mean, if you could get Stafford right now in a draft where people don't really know what's going on, at 165 overall, that's highway robbery. So, yeah, he's going to climb, though, man. He's going to climb fast. But you're not wrong to like him. All right, Gump.
Okay. And wait a minute. How do I get into one of those big money things? Where they give you a lot of money if you're a genius, like doing like fantasy football. I don't want to do like the
underdog.
I just want to beat everybody.
If you're
I just want to beat down everybody.
If you're a genius,
I just want to beat them all. Can I get $1 million?
You want to what? You want to beat them what?
I want $1 million.
What did he just
beat
say?
Everybody down.
Can we get a replay on that? What did he just say? Hold on, Gump. Quiet. What did you just say?
Can we get a replay? Where they give you a lot of money if you're a genius, like doing like fantasy football. I don't want to do like the underdog. I just want to beat everybody. If you're a genius, beat down everybody. If you're a genius, I want to beat them all.
Yeah, there.
I want in. I want in for the big money.
If you're a genius.
Huh?
Oh, hold on, Gump. Quiet. You want to beat him what? Hold on. If you're a genius. What? What are you saying? What are you saying on these airways, Gump? Okay, Gump. I'm gonna let you go.
Family friendly show.
Go cook your food.
Well, okay. That means that you're not going to help me find out how to get a million.
Oh yeah, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Here's the link, Gump. I dropped it in the live chat right there.
I really can't gamble. But if you,
so how you supposed to take your genius and win a bunch of money when you're not putting any money in?
For us.
Okay. Gump, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. Go eat. I appreciate you. Later, bro. Thank you for your time today. We'll see you later.
Oh man.
What, Gump? I gotta go. It's not like I'm ending it for good.
You owe me. Now you owe me to do a Lions show because you practically did a freaking Pittsburgh Steelers show.
I don't. Gump. I go with the news. I don't donate shows to people. Go have your Lions get in the news, and then we'll talk about them. All right, later.
I'm gonna
Appreciate
say please.
All right, Ron Navy. Final thoughts.
Please, Smitty, if I give you money, will you bet it for me?
You know, I have people that tell me that if I don't, first of all, a lot of people love Gump. Gump, if you're watching, put your earmuffs on. I have a lot of people that say they love Gump. They love him, but there are like 1 or 2 people. That's a very small number, Gump. Put your earmuffs on. Don't listen to this. I got 1 or 2 people that they literally threaten to stop watching the show if I put Gump back on. And I'm like,
I don't know. I don't know if you've you probably already covered all this and stuff, but I'm wondering, because I noticed on your board you had Shedeur Sanders possibly getting drafted by Cleveland.
Oh, well.
Is that right?
I mean, it's a possibility, but he could fall very, very far. That was I was predicting Cleveland to maybe trade down, and they still get him in this particular board. But
I don't think. I mean, you heard Deion come out, and he's gonna choose where he goes, and I don't think he's gonna be okay if Cleveland wants to draft his son.
Ron,
I don't think Deion's gonna let his son go to Cleveland.
Ron, there's so many teams that are already out on Shedeur because of his interviews that he doesn't have a choice where he's going. Deion doesn't have a choice or a clue. There's no controlling where he goes. He doesn't have everybody clamoring at him right now. Jackson Dart is maybe moving ahead of him as we speak. But that'll be determined in pro days and all that. But he's not going to have the luxury. He starts playing that game, he might fall all the way down to like the bottom of round 1 if he's going to refuse to play for
Well, I'm not saying he's playing the game. I'm talking about his dad.
His dad
came out. Deion came out. And
that
was very.
When did that happen? Because when was this? When was this, Ron? Because when that news broke, Deion shot it down. And he said, I haven't said a single thing about that. People are running their mouth and lying about me because he said he wasn't going to play for the Giants. He came out and shot it down. He says, people saying that are making up stuff. I've never once said where my son's going to play. So I think you're on some old news because Deion already shot that down.
No, I actually heard him in an interview say that.
But he already...
lie. I saw that. It was probably a couple months ago, but still, he did say that. It wasn't just something. He said it on live TV.
I know that somebody said you're going to be involved, and he's like, "You bet you're damn, that." But he came out and literally said when someone said that they were going to pull in Eli Manning, only, and ironically not let him go to New York, and Deion came out and said that's lies. He's like, my son wants to play in New York.
Not lies. He said it.
Ron, Deion.
He said it live on
Ron,
TV.
Deion Sanders himself. I heard Deion Sanders himself say that is a lie. That my son wants to play for New York. He's playing for New York. He's like, I'm not going to tell him where to play football. He may have in another interview said he's going to be involved.
Then Deion's lying, retracting what he previously said. Even Travis said he saw that. Didn't you, Travis? Where he came out and said that?
No, I saw him shoot it down. I saw what Smitty.
No, he didn't.
Where he said he's not going to.
Well, Ron, we both saw him say it.
No, look it up. Look it up. He actually said it live a couple months ago.
All right.
He said he will not let his son go to certain teams. Do that. And he said, he's my son. Of course, I will not let him play for certain teams. And he can come out and say that's a lie. That's bullcrap because he's on video saying it.
Now, if you are correct and you're not misremembering how he said it, because he did say multiple times that he's going to be involved. Like someone joked around and said, are you going to be every step of the way, like with the decision making process? He's like, you bet your bottom, like he totally said that. But his specifically said when people came out and said he's not going to allow his son to go play with in New York with neighbors. He shot it down. He said that's not true. If he wants to play in New York, he can play in New York. Like he specifically. Anyway, regardless, Ron, we'll see you later. Appreciate you. Glad you're back. Come back more often to the live streams. Don't be a stranger. Aaron says, why would anybody threaten to not watch if Gump wasn't removed? There's just a couple of people that they're particular. But Gump, we're not getting rid of Gump. I didn't say anything of the sort. Just telling you some people, and you can read them. I'm not telling a secret or anything. People in the comments are like, get rid of Gump. I'm not watching. People they love him or they hate him. Most people love him. All right, Ron, we'll see you later, bro. Appreciate you. Go eat a steak.
Later, Smitty. Later, Travis. Later, chat.
Greg, you got 15 seconds, Greg, because I'm on the way out the door, Greg.
Yep. I got you, man. Quick question. In Dynasty, if you win a Dynasty League 10-man, should you be picking 7th overall because that's where you finished in the regular season?
I think it depends on how you set it up. I mean, a lot of times teams will use draft order based on your record through the week 14. And the reason you would do that is because that's when everybody's fighting. And then when people don't make the playoffs, they don't try hard, and then they end up, not setting lineups, and then people go like, that sucks that he got the number 1 overall pick. But there's also expected lineup. Like if your standings show the most probable, everybody's league management words it different, but there's a column that tells you their highest possible expected point total or whatever, and you can go off of that, and that can, but not every league management has it, but it's not uncommon to do that, to say, hey, while everyone's trying, let's figure it out. But I think what you do to combat that, if you want to take it the distance, is say, if anybody throws their lineup, they go to the back of the draft. If you don't set your lineup or whatever, then, or we add on, 50 points to your total that week or whatever. But it's not uncommon. But you got to know your own rules going in, bro. If everybody knows where everybody's picking and it's written down somewhere. The problem is a lot of these Mickey Mouse commissioners, bro, won't even have it anywhere, and they'll just come out and go, hey, the way I'm doing it is this way. And you're like, what? But, that's on you, too, to play in that league, just so you know.
Sure. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, brother.
All right. Later, bro. All right, Travis, final thoughts. Then I'm out of here. I'm not sure if I'll be back tonight. Depends if there's breaking news.
What? Go ahead.
I don't know if I'll be back tonight. Depends if there's breaking news. I might not do the graveyard stream because we've been live so much today. If news breaks, I'll be back, but I don't think I'm just going to do a draft stream or anything.
You've been live for 2.5 hours now, too.
Right now on this one one particular stream.
No, I was just gonna say, Patriots fans are gonna hate on me for this, but I think Patriots fans need to be more realistic. Like for me, DK was a dream, but I wasn't necessarily expecting it to happen. It would have been awesome. And everyone will say, "Oh, we don't want him," but if Pickens is available in a deal, I would take him on the Patriots because one, he won't complain because he's going to get all the passes he can ask for, and they have the money to sign him. Now it's risky, so I don't know if they will do it. I don't know if they want him, but I don't think that's actually a bad fit. I was curious what you would think.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of places that Pickens, like Green Bay, New England, and I'm not saying you want that. I'm just saying these are places that I could see having interest in Pickens, but I think you got to trade him. You got to trade him because you're losing him. You're losing him. If he's so good that you're going to franchise tag him next year, then you're going to just sign him to a long-term deal now instead of going and getting DK Metcalf to replace him. And I know that Ron sees it as they're gaining a wide receiver too, but DK Metcalf isn't a wide receiver too that you're adding to the.
Right, he's their one.
He's their one. He's the replacement for Pickens. Pickens is getting nudged aside, and if they keep him and they can't get rid of him because no one wants to pay the price tag, then he's going to be a headache. He's going to be a headache. This is a guy that's going to unravel. But we'll see. I've been wrong before on stuff like this, but you know, picking landing spots, no one's going to be even remotely close to accurate because, like I said, one domino messes up the whole board, and you got to redo it each time something's announced. But we've been pretty damn accurate on most everything, but DK's landing spot, which I admit I didn't think it would be the Steelers. It was possible. We talked about it, but I didn't see it as the only way that this would work out. And I guess I did say this. Is that if he just goes for the money and the other offers aren't as big and he's like, I just want to get paid. And the other thing too is we also said this is that these teams think that the Steelers are better than they are. But at the end of the day, I still kind of defend them and say that, you know, if Fields goes to Pittsburgh or Darnold and DK's there, and he is, maybe they win a couple playoff games. So it's not as bad of an environment as it was.
Right. And my thought, too, is you signed DK for 5 years. I mean, and I didn't think they were going to turn around and, you know, tank or blow the thing up anyway because they have a good enough defense and they have pieces. But, like, okay, you just committed to an arguably number one wide receiver for 5 years. Say if they bring in Russ, they can draft a QB2 or start finding that next QB. And, you know, so to me, I would want to trade Fields. I know in a perfect world, you know, he shuts his mouth and he's happy being that elite number 2, but I don't see that happening. So get him out, get a real number 2 in.
Has he ever had any run-ins with the law?
I'm not sure.
I was gonna say if he did, if that's not a problem for him to try and cook something up, the Chiefs might be really interested. Hey, what's your propensity for obeying the law? Because the KC Chiefs have a wide open opening. We're taking interviews. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you. Rockout says people are going to try and get rid of me. Rockout. Maybe Rockout. I don't think so, though. But you never know. All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate you, Travis. We'll maybe be back tonight. Check the news. If the news breaks and there's something, we'll be back. All right, later. Everybody, appreciate you. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you to everybody that dropped one. Rockout, Luke, Calvin, BBQ, Rockout, Joe, Lewis, Miguel, Jesse, Jonathan, BBQ, Jonathan, Devin dropping that $20 hauler earlier, and Big Sunny. Appreciate every single one of you. And wow, what a stream. What a stream. We're live Monday through Friday. 8 p.m. every single Monday through Friday. We're also live additionally whenever news breaks, which is what we've been doing all day long. News breaks, we go live. News breaks, we go live. News breaks, we go live. And if you're watching on X, make sure you get over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, and understand that when news breaks tomorrow, there's only one place you need to be.